Hello and welcome to Critical 20 Day. We're going to do some more Agrarian Skies.
Oh, there is no... I was waving at the camera, but there's no face cam.
I don't do face cam for the Agrarian Skies series.
That makes sense.
So, Jonathan's here with me.
Hello.
We're probably going to be talking about just random things.
Anything, really.
Ammon's not here, so... Because we were playing till 3 in the morning.
We have no clue what we're going to talk about.
I basically saved up my hours from last week because we're allowed to play 1 hour each day. I basically saved them up and used them all yesterday. Even though I know that's not how it works.
What do you mean only allowed to play 1 hour a day?
That's what we decided. Like, we decided we would be streaming, and then we could do 1 hour a day outside of streaming. So, I feel like there's a lot that needs to be said of what I have done. Hello, Benjamin Owens. Is he your brother?
Why is he on here already?
It's been 50 seconds.
It's been 50 seconds! How come you're here?
How much blood do I have? Whoo!
That's a lot of blood.
That means this blood orb is maxed out.
It's been 50 seconds!
I now have a full master blood orb and 1,000,000 life points. Whew! So, I feel like all this needs to be prefaced, Rom Chest. I made a strongbox for my blood magic stuff. Whoa, lag. Just you know, a little bit.
You must have already had YouTube open. It doesn't... There's no other...
There's no way you can open it in 50 seconds. Let's turn particles to minimal. That'll probably help.
Still kinda a bit...
Yeah. We got jetpacks, and I got a piece of bound armor, my first piece. So I have the void sigil and the air sigil. Yep, he already had YouTube open. So, yeah, we got our jetpacks. What these bound boots do is the full set of bound armor makes you immune basically to all damage except for withering and fire for the cost of blood.
Yeah.
What I put in this is a master blood orb, so void sigil and air sigil take no blood to use, and apparently your mom told him.
Oh.
The demon blood shard allows me to put 2 sigils in. The void sigil makes me immune to the void, and I have tested this already. The air sigil prevents all fall damage.
How far down have you gone in the void? What kind of garbage?
Are you convinced yet?
I'm convinced, I just don't...
I just lost like a couple thousand blood.
I
can get it back real quick, though. Holy cow, how far down did I go? Oh, negative 170. This is going to take a little while. It'll probably cost me about 10,000 blood.
It's a lot of blood.
Yeah, there's 37,000 in my altar, though. I can just replenish my orb. There we go. I'm out of the void. For the cost of 10,000 blood. But are you convinced yet?
I told you already that I already am... Yes. Stop it.
Blood Magic is an extremely powerful mod pack. Mod pack. It's an extremely powerful mod pack. It's an extremely powerful mod that basically you can become immortal with, even more than the red matter armor of industrial craft. Also, we were messing around and found out that if I were to make a chicken in my blood altar, it costs 200 with a feather 200 blood chicken. And then we can take it over here to Ammon's blood altar, and he can get 800 blood out of it. So we found a way to exploit the system.
Infinite blood.
Also, I would like to make it known that I have found a way to actually get infinite blood. This ritual here, I'm just gonna back away because it's so freaking loud, is known as the Well of Suffering. It damages all entities within a 10-block radius of that block there. And gives me life. Gives me life points. 10-block radius. So this cube is filled with cursed earth from extra utilities, which will spawn monsters no matter the player's distance. Just like
I know how cursed earth works.
And that's filled with cursed earth. So basically, this is giving me permanent blood. It just keeps filling up my altar. Endlessly.
So
we found a way to exploit...
The mod doesn't really allow you to exploit the system other than the Chicken 800 deal.
Well, if it had just been the mod and we didn't have extra utilities, I would have made it so we only had one mob grinder and it was directly beneath this altar, and I can make very good mob grinders in Agrarian Skies. So we would have been able to do it either way. This just makes it so we can have multiple things going on, because that's our main mob grinder, and that's Ammon's little sacrificial thing. Also, we made Ammon's altar look cool, but it's nothing compared to my ziggurat, because his is only a level 2 or 3 altar. So, let's see, what else have we done? We've expanded the platform up here a bit, and Ammon has been working on his Thaumcraft. He's got silverwood and things. Also, there are a lot of animals spawning up here for some reason. Look at all these cows.
Many cows.
Many cows. Let's see, we've got all of these things in place. I think I've gone over them before, right? Some of them. We built a nuclear reactor because we were having power issues. Is it empty?
Oh yeah,
That's good.
Was it a coal reactor you were using to power everything? A
Oh,
coal.
shoot.
A coal, whatever. How much blue did you make?
Just a second. I need to go grab some more Yellorium. We're out. That was running all night. Whoops. Let's just turn you off for a bit.
Oh, you left it on the server
Yeah.
after you logged out?
This is directly above my blood altar, basically. So this chunk right here, if I press F9, this...
You mean F3?
No, F9. This chunk that I'm in is permanently being loaded, because I have a chunk loader beneath it, my blood altar, which is why I now have 1,000,000 blood. And the reactor's just outside of it, so it shouldn't be being loaded. Actually, I think I know why it is. I think the chunk loader goes in a one chunk wide radius in every direction. So this one and one chunk in every direction. Anyway, other than that, Ammon got an ME system up, which is out of power. How the fudge is it out of power? How did
You just turned off the reactor.
It shouldn't have drained 10 million power already. Look, it's got 999.9 million.
Where's all the power going?
I don't know, but not into the computer. That's for sure.
Oh, ooh, ooh,
Oh.
ooh, ooh, ooh.
Dumb donation station. You're going away. So it's just a glitch with the computer. All right. Holy cow. I have too many things open. I can close these and open them up again later. All like 33 tabs.
Why do you have... Are these all for D&D?
In a way, yes.
This is why I wouldn't be a very good DM.
Well, in theory, you should only spend amount of time preparing equal to half the time you're going to spend playing. These are all the notes of my Dungeon Master that he has ever taken.
Why does he have so many notes?
Because he's been DMing for 2 decades.
Oh yeah, the decades thing.
Yeah, there's this thing called decades. They work pretty well.
They haven't stopped yet.
They haven't stopped yet.
They haven't broken yet.
This will probably free up about 30% of my CPU. So many freaking tabs. Alright. And 33? Yep, 33. 33 tabs. That's how many there are. I counted earlier. Let's test and see if that helped.
33 tabs within one tab, and then all of the rest of the tabs we have open.
Crafting. Why? Why? There's no reason for you to be acting this way. You are full of power. You are empty. Where's my freaking crescent hammer? I need to go smash something.
Oh, is your crescent hammer in the computer?
No, I was looking for my prototype OmniWrench. The problem is we do actually have a lot of crap in the computer, and we need it powered.
Can you make a direct line just to the computer and take out everything else?
All these freaking generators that we don't need, that are empty?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just
Actually, for now, let's just use the generators as the power.
because it's being dumb.
Yeah, it's being dumb. Alright, here we go. Actually, we're gonna need... Let's turn it into 6. 6 stacks. Nope. It's a problem with the computer. Curse you, applied energistics.
Turn it off and on again. Break it and place it again.
This is... So the furnace generators are filling up with power.
Oh, because is the thing not connected to the port?
Why did I even put the computer so far away from the reactor? Let me just fix this problem. I have the tools to do it.
Are you just taking a coal generator up there?
No, that would be pretty interesting.
You're using coal to power your computer.
Yeah, and it's not working. Okay, I'm still getting a little bit of lag, but it doesn't seem to be too bad. Okay, let's grab some leadstone energy conduits. What else do we need? I think that's it. We will need to move the computer, which is...
That cow just fell.
Yeah. Taking this crafting terminal.
Make sure it doesn't fall into the void.
If it does, it's lag, and it's not my fault.
But also, that would suck.
Also, yeah, because I'm going to put everything we own in here. One should know by now that you don't put things far away from the source of all your power. I would have thought Ammon would have known this by now. We've had troubles with computers in Agrarian Skies before.
Everybody has troubles with computers in Agrarian Skies.
Yeah, especially when their computers aren't good enough to run it.
The computers you're trying to run your computer on are garbage.
Yep.
This is the computer platform.
Yep. That's exactly what it is.
Welcome to my house. This is the computer platform.
I don't care if we have to walk over exposed electrical cables. This is where I'm going to rebuild the computer. In my own image. These are leadstone.
Do you not have leadstone?
Those are hardened.
Do you not have hardened conduits?
I don't think I have any more.
Well, can't you just remove those ones that were going to the computer
there we go.
before?
Hardened conduits.
Are you still using the ones that were going to the computer before? You could have just
Those
broken
like
those.
4? Do you see what's beneath them?
You can... This is Minecraft. You can build a thing to catch them.
Yeah. It doesn't mean I want to.
You frustrate me. Oof.
No. Sorry. The wrong thing.
Config.
Okay, so if this is that way, we need an output at the bottom. We need... an output on the front. And we need an output on the top. Hopefully this will still work. There, take all the freaking power you need. Those are the better energy cables, that's why I'm doing this. They're the upgraded versions. There we go. Now everything runs through this single redstone energy cell. And is it working? Look how much power we've lost because I turned off the reactor. Look! The computer's working!
Now the hard drives.
63 of 63 types. Let's throw in the fluid storage. Now, why is there... No, this is mine. Screw you, This is blood. It's blood magic, therefore it's mine.
So that's how this works.
Yep.
As soon as I get in there, I have no clue what I'm gonna be doing.
Well, we've done most of the basic quest. Where the fudge is mine? I need a piece of string.
You can ask for me to organize the stuff, which I can do. Because this is a mess.
It
what
is.
you have going on here.
A lot of it is essential, like these. Those are essential because they're making us infinite resources.
Yeah, but I'm
We
going to
have-
have to build an entirely new platform. A very large one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 16 stacks of tin. We have block of diamond, block of emerald. Each of these turns into 2 ingots. And then there's freaking limestone. And amber, Thaumcraft amber, I realized is the coolest thing.
Oh.
It is translucent. No!
It's floated into the sucky
Well,
port.
it's gone now.
No, it floated over there.
I know. Why do you think I'm looking into this chest?
No, wrong chest.
Yeah, I know. Why do you think I'm looking into this chest?
What in the heck? Oh, that's...
Basically, this Civ's dust, this Civ's sand, and this Civ's gravel, though they all appear to have run out over the night.
Considering your chunk loader.
These do still have power, right? Everything over here is still working?
No.
Yeah, it appears to be. Gravel is being pulverized into gravel. Someone messed with my system. Ammon messed with my system. Either that or I messed it up originally.
Why are you sinking?
Item filter north, gravel. No, gravel is supposed to be sitting in this one. This gravel is supposed to be broken down in this one. So why was there gravel as an output? Someone put cobblestone in my gravel. And there's only one person it could have been. Get
Somebody
off.
put peanut butter in my chocolate.
Someone put cobblestone in my gravel.
Is it?
I just realized I threw full generators into the computer. Let me just leave those sitting around.
No, don't do that as soon as... Oh, no.
I can break them and they'll still have their power.
I know, I just... As soon as I get in there, I'm gonna have to make an entirely new platform where everything is organized.
You're right.
Because this is just... garbage.
I just have torches. I just want a torch. I don't want glowstone. Do we have coal in the computer?
I'm sure you do.
Nope, we only have pulverized coal. Alright, let's find a torch. This is the real problem right here. Oh look, a singular torch.
And
What are the
singular.
odds? Okay.
How many buttons you have to press just to do the things you need to do.
Just to get all the information necessary. Okay, we're good now. Ah! Hello, ceiling.
Hello. What are those things?
His grinder's out of power, isn't it? I told him to hook it up to the mains.
Well, you
told
just
him.
broke the mains, remember?
No, but it's not. It's hooked up to these dumb furnace generators. This is the problem.
Did he play longer than you?
No, he did this an age ago and just was like, oh, I want to get rid of wood. I'm freaking hooking it up to the mains. I don't care what he says.
We can get rid of wood in other ways, with Jonathan building a giant new place to have things organized. It's gonna be singular levels, not off-put and crazy like you have over here.
Let's see, crescent hammer. I need hardened energy conduits. Alright. Okay, I'm freaking plugging in his freaking thing.
Enderman.
Okay, it's about time this thing got plugged in. And I'm the one who's gonna have to do it, because Ammon doesn't want to.
Oh, jeez, look at that. Oh, no.
There's not really much we can do about the wiring issue. If there was, it would have been done by now. Let's just go the most convenient route for this. Plug it right up there.
Oh, no. I heard a skeleton die.
That means it's finally working again. Because I plugged it into the... Yeah, see? Energy.
See how the thing is working now?
See how it kept stopping before because Ammon was so insistent? Yeah, whatever.
it poofed into the... what are those things called? Vacuum hopper?
Mm-hmm. Good job.
I remember...
I learned something last time.
No, I remembered this from the...
Oh, Yogscast?
Yes.
Mm.
Not from you.
I'd be surprised if you learned anything from us.
No.
We're just useless and bugger around.
Hey, that's what I do all days, every day of my life.
Well, that shows that we're not so different.
Why are your fingers so small?
I don't know. Just because.
You're
Why are
so
yours
bony.
so big?
Because I work with my hands.
You and your little sausages?
I work with my hands.
Yeah, I know. So do I. I sit here playing on the computer.
That's not the same. You're not lifting 50-pound stuff all day.
You're right, it's true.
50-pound minimum. Minimum. So much blood.
Oh, look, it's full again.
So give the blood, gallons of the stuff, and give them all that they can drink, and it will never be enough.
Yep, sounds about right.
So give the blood.
I put it in here, didn't I?
Grab your glass, because there is going to be a flood.
So, actually, I'm going to make my next Master Blood Orb first, because I need another one.
Well, they appreciate complete cooperation.
Do. It should have enough now. Hopefully. There we go. Master Blood Orb. I'm just going to prick myself with it to attune it to me. That is my 995,000. Yeah. Because this ritual uses up a little bit of my life, but it gives me way more. Alright. Now let's just wait for this to fill up again, actually. Now I have this Master Blood Orb. I'm working on making the next piece of my bound armor, which I need these sockets all filled for. Each of them requires 30,000 blood.
So, in a chicken, is there 200 or 800 blood?
Depends. If you do it at my altar, with the Well of Suffering beneath it, there will be roughly 400 blood. If you do it at Ammon's altar, actually no, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many of those do I have? 1, 2. Actually, my altar will actually give me more blood per chicken.
But how much blood is in a chicken?
9, 10. Should we find out?
How much blood does it take to make a blood chicken?
200. Here, like we have a feather. And if we put it in the blood altar, enchant some dooma huma huma humana humana. Look, we get a spawn chicken. My Well of Suffering is going to kill this, is the problem, and I don't have a Dagger of Sacrifice. So, I don't actually know how much blood is in a chicken for me. Unless I steal Ammon's.
Do you not have a muffler to put there?
Nope. We only have one. I don't actually know how I would have told how much, because it's constantly going up.
Yeah, I see a fatal flaw with your plan.
I did kill a chicken, though.
With a sword.
Yeah, as it was being killed by my ritual of death.
Why do you poof out multicolored poofs?
It's my jetpack particles.
Did you choose the different colors poofs?
I did equip
rainbow?
it to the jetpack, so it's just rainbow. It's rainbow poofs. I think we have another one somewhere.
I'm gonna need that.
You need rainbow poofs?
I need any sort of jetpack to make what
Particle
I'm going to
customizer rainbow smoke. Also, I'm throwing this in the computer. I don't care what Damon says. He doesn't want to throw it in, but it's just like, we can take out the stuff that's not stackable.
Why is that one different?
This is 64 times bigger.
And why is that a problem?
It's not.
I don't see why we don't put the thing in the computer.
It's useless to not. Alright. Short boy made ages ago. Hey, remember these?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this our original world or no?
This is a different world. Because that server ended up going down with problems. And Ammon's actually paying for this world. So, I don't have to pay a single dime! Which I'm perfectly fine with.
So when do you think the other computer will be available?
I honestly have no idea.
That's a fantastic answer. Man, I hate the way this battle mat smells. It hurts my nose.
Oh. Like, it'll be better in, like, probably a few hours.
Nope, I'll jump myself. You don't get to push me.
Fine. I'll make death with you.
Give me one good reason not to shoot you, because I'll do it myself.
Boom.
Bow.
That would be depressing.
That's actually from a video I saw. VR. The VR shot. The guy was pointing a gun at the other guy, and he's like, give me one good reason not to shoot you. And he's like, bow.
Yeah.
There. Ha! I win.
2 quests with unclaimed rewards. Let me guess. Go with the flow for the hoarding? It can't be bragging rights. You're a wizard, Steve. No, wait, where the fudge? Where's the other one? Oh, Hell's Kitchen. Alright, I made tomatoes. I did that last time. I don't need your thinking heart in my inventory. We have like 87 lives. Just gotten to the point where it's like, this is just pointless. Illorium dust, let's go get that smelted. I'm smelting. Does this give you any idea how many chickens we killed last night?
A lot. Many.
At least 4 stacks of chickens.
Many chickens.
Many chickens were harmed in the making of this video.
Last video.
In the making of... Well, we weren't recording, though, is the problem.
In the making of the...
In the making of this skyblock, many chickens were harmed. But chickens drop, like, 6 feathers each, so I can kill 1 chicken and make 6 more. Like, I literally have infinite chickens.
I think that's kind of how this is supposed to work.
Well, you know, in Minecraft, they only ever drop, like, 1.
Yeah.
Agrarian's guys clearly made it better.
You're gonna need these. Here. Take these. It's dangerous to not have many chickens.
There was a ritual I wanted to look at in one of these. It was the Reverence of the Condor. Or even the ritual of the feathered knife that will kill me if I ever go close. Only mostly kill me.
What is a feathered knife?
Basically it'll act as if you're clicking the sacrifice orb when you're close. It'll take you down to 30 health, 30% of your maximum health. But it requires so many runes. I don't want to make that many more. 20 life points per operation. I don't really want to do that. It was the Reverence of the Condor I really wanted to do. But I would need 88 ritual stones and an awakened activation crystal. But it would let me fly like I'm in creative. But I'm not making awakened activation crystals and stuff yet. It's too much work.
That's a monster I haven't
Here,
heard.
Eamon. Have some blood!
That's some of these are monster sounds I haven't heard before.
Like the wisp and the petch? Peck.
That sort of underwater
Correct.
sounding one.
That is the wisp. Also, I don't know why Eamon didn't just hook these up with cables instead of just manually moving everything over. It's so much easier just to... That's a pesh. Burn for me, my son.
Purple-ability.
Burn for me. I'm gonna go check on the reactor. Let's Let's turn you on. This little thing can keep up with all of this crap. All of it.
Where did that box come from again?
It was a blood magic spell I cast and then realized it didn't have a bottom. I wanted to be able to use it if I was falling so I could just die by hitting the box instead of the void and just have my stuff in the box. However, there wasn't a bottom, so I ended up switching the spell to create enormous gouts of water.
And is that better?
I can show you its effect. It works in the nether.
Unlike most water?
Unlike all other water. This is what it does. This is a single spell that cost me about 500 life points.
Ah!
That was a hellbat. Hate hellbats.
It exploded. Do
Yep.
they do that?
They do that.
Are they like flying creepers?
Yeah, but they don't really destroy blocks. They just
Explode.
do a little bit of damage.
Alright, so I'm gonna need some more info on how to play my character. Oh,
Great. Which character did you make?
the warlock.
The warlock. So warlocks, as we discussed before, have a lot of self-buffing spells.
Yes.
Did you pick Pact of the Tome?
Yes. Because the other things did not seem
Yeah.
conducive to being a first-time warlock player.
So warlocks, your primary damaging spell is Eldritch Blast, which is a cantrip.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you cast it, you shoot 2 beams of Eldritch energy
Mm-hmm.
that deal 1d10 damage. However, I believe you also took things like Armor of Agathis, which are also very powerful spells. Armor of Agathis in particular is a good buffing spell in a combat if you think you're going to get hit in melee. Because then they take about 15 points of cold damage,
So it's like
and you walk away
thorns?
scot-free.
It's like thorns?
It's better than Thorns, because you don't actually take damage, because you get temporary hit points. And until those temporary hit points are gone, you don't really take damage. Come on, computer. Computers in the older versions of Applied Energistics were not the best. Okay, let's see.
I'm looking for a
Hmm.
minifigure to use for my new character. But I can't decide. This one, because I'm a human.
The Kenku.
Yes.
You know what's interesting about the Kenku? They can't speak unless they've heard someone else say those words.
Mm-hmm.
They can only mimic. So they're actually pretty interesting creatures. Look, another one of these. She's gonna eat all of Ammon's mana beans. Shh, I'll never know.
Except for it's on live stream, so he might find out.
He'll never know! It doesn't actually matter. I don't think he even uses the mana beans.
Oh. This person is scary.
That person? I was specifically told to paint every, bit of clothing they had green. So it's just like, okay, I'll just paint the minifigure green.
Yeah, but look at the eyes.
Yeah,
The soulless eyes.
Eyes are so freaking hard to do. Unless you have the world's smallest paintbrush.
Like this? That's my phone.
Okay. I was like, here our phone.
Who is texting me?
The phone.
Ammon.
The
Ammon
phone
has
is
work at
ringing.
4.
The phone. Be right there. The phone. The phone is ringing.
So...
There's an animal in trouble somewhere. Like the one I just pushed off the cliff.
Ha! And the cause is this random guy on YouTube.
Because of this random guy living in the sky.
There's cows falling from the sky!
My hovercraft is full of eels.
I don't know what that's from.
Monty Python.
Its eyes look hollow and empty. I was like, ooh, this spellcaster lady, I'll use this. And then I look at the eyes and I'm like, oh, maybe.
Alright, you are playing a female character again.
Yeah. And I'm like, ooh, maybe not.
Liquid meat. My favorite.
Welcome to McMeaty's. What would you like?
I would like liquid meat. Please.
We have Soft poop, cherry poop, diet poop, it's salty lemonade.
Cherry poop.
Invader Zim is so weird.
Yeah.
But it's so hilarious.
Eventually I need to finish this quest. Should I just do this quest right now and get it over with? Because then
What
we'll be
is
done.
the quest?
It's just to make a steam turbine and turbine housings. Because then we'll be done with steel-powered flight. So we'll have 2 quest lines completed. Of the 9.
I think yes, but the real question is, do you want to?
Yeah, not really, but I'll do it anyway.
How come this dwarf is the same height as this lady?
Another quartz, steel, graphite, and is that cyanide or plutonium? Cyanide. I just threw all the cyanide in the computer. Do we have any quartz? No, we don't have any nether quartz. We can always just go grab some. We need steel. Do we have any steel available? I think I saw some upstairs when I went to go do things. When I was bumming around looking at all the chests. There's 6 steel. We need 2 more steel. Whoa! Game, will you let me fly away, please?
I must fly.
I must find freedom in the sky.
When the antagonist doesn't have a good evil laugh. Soon, the entire world will be under my control.
Alright, turbine housings. We need some
This armor
graphite.
is empty.
We need some graphite and some nether quartz.
And is it supposed to not have an arm?
That's because the arm isn't attached.
It's a detachable arm?
No, I just haven't found something worthy of gluing it on. Super glue sure doesn't work.
Is it this arm?
Yep.
What angle?
I've found the angle multiple times. Excuse me, this pickaxe has fortune 5.
Is it supposed to not be connected?
Yeah, it's usually like that with things. No, you don't get to explode! I need my quartz!
Quartz explodes?
Everything explodes.
I haven't played in
Not in
so
regular
long.
Minecraft.
I know, but I still haven't played in so long. But I'm like, what? It explodes? Since when does it explode?
Since Agrarian guys came out. Let's see. There we go, that's half of the quest done, the easy half. Now to make a steam turbine. And finally finish this quest.
Is this guy supposed to be normal sized? Or is
3
he
silver and 2 redstone.
large?
He's not actually a dandy minifigure, so he's larger than normal.
Huh? No, I'm a human, I swear. I swear as I'm a human. Oh, the eyes are so...
Can I just make piston? Yay, I can make piston.
Oh, is that the Necronomicon? I see a face on this book.
Might be Vecna's book. The one with the tongue in it.
Blech.
Or rather, the tongue out of it.
No, one of the pages is a tongue.
Yep. Actually, it's just tongue coming out of the cover.
No, it's a page.
2 copper gears. And the great thing about computers, you can tell it to make all your crap for you. You have to actually do a tiny bit of work. Steam dynamo.
Why does this dwarf have such a giant sword?
I don't know.
And this dwarf isn't actually that much smaller than a human.
Oh yeah, dwarves usually aren't. They're about a foot shorter. They're not halflings.
Is this a dwarf scale? I'm trying to think. Give me a minute. Halfling, dwarf, humans, and then this guy who says he's a human but is not. What did you get? Red herring morsel.
We already have one of those. Here, take the red herring, computer. Take my red herring! And throw it back in your face!
This one, then
You
this
could say
guy.
it was a red herring.
Stop it. um,
Oh, I wonder how long my altar's been full for. Feed me the souls of the innocent.
no.
Their blood shall keep me safe.
Who is this guy with the massive sword?
I almost took that out too early. Which game? That's an anti-paladin.
An anti-paladin?
Hmm?
Not an Oathbreaker paladin, but an anti-paladin.
An anti-paladin.
He's very bold.
He's very old or very bald?
Bald. Bald! Bald! And this guy, lady, who obviously put herself on a pedestal.
I put a monkey on... That's a gravestone. Monkey on a pedestal. In fact, you've nearly killed yourselves on that said gravestone.
Oh, that one.
And tried to make
I haven't.
that
My
monkey
characters are all
stay. Yeah, pretty much everyone's just like, I need a new character.
That's because we started out so poorly.
Josh liked Mondrin a lot, but she's just like, just, you know, you gotta change sometimes.
Because we made terrible decisions.
Yeah.
And hopefully this works out better.
But I think from now on I'm going to implement the you come back, you lose a level rule with new characters.
Not this time though, because we really needed this change.
No, and because there was multiple people making, like 3 different people making new characters. It's just like, oh, okay. I really don't know what else to do other than build my blood armor.
Maybe if I was in the game I could help, but I'm not.
Yeah, you could shank yourself for me.
I could, but
Shank yourself for me.
no.
Do it.
No.
How dare you say no to your overlord,
Because no.
John.
That is me, that is not Oh, they're the same guy. I was wondering, I'm like, is this guy taller than this guy? No, why not? Oh, they're in the same boat. Oh, they're the same guy.
You know what? Ammon can have more blood. The reason we haven't been streaming as much lately is because we're just at the grindy part of Agrarian Skies now. So we figured it wouldn't be terribly interesting to watch us just bum around for hours just putting blood in an altar. So, yeah.
This guy is very small as well, but slightly taller than this one.
I hope you're happy. Right. Ah!
What are you and why do you look funny?
Excuse me? Racism from you?
Oh, it's the Scarecrow from the Batmans.
Or from the Wizard of Oz?
No, this is the Batman Scarecrow.
You sure?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that's the Wizard of Oz Scarecrow.
This is different than the Wizard of Oz I saw. This is a bit different than
That's what RDM used when he was doing when we were going through the Wizard of Oz. That's the exact physical description of the Scarecrow. And he was pretty friggin' creepy. And the lion was a manticore. And the Tin Man, I don't remember what the Tin Man was.
This drawing.
Oh right, the Tin Man was a freaking steel golem that we had to kill.
This dryad looks very unamused with everything that's going on. Her eyes are like, ugh.
Are you not entertained? Is this not what you came to see?
No, it is not. Bye.
Well, then leave.
I tried my hardest, and you just do the... fine.
I should make footlongs. Oh, but we need mayo. Mayo's made of eggs and a juicer. That seems like too much work.
Just stick eggs in a juicer and you have mayonnaise.
Just smash
it here
eggs in a
first.
juicer. Yep, you did. And you'll hear it here second if you're not careful.
I don't... Stop it. You're upsetting.
Why do people watch us?
You mean the two people who watch us?
The two people who are currently watching. Why are you watching us?
There are two
What
people
are we
watching.
doing that is entertaining?
Who are the two people?
I don't know.
Second person? Who?
What are we doing that is entertaining?
I'm talking about random garbage.
As I just make bound armor slowly. Once I do this, though, I'll be basically immortal. And then I won't have to worry about dying ever again. I think Sigil of the Whirlwind is one I want.
Oh, you're taking the feat, Sigil of the Whirlwind.
Yep, that is the feat I'm taking. And the Lava Sigil feat. Or maybe Divination Sigil, because then I would have my Soul Network HUD.
This would be a fun familiar to have.
Let's go with Lava Sigil, because then I'm immune to fire, which is one of the two things that is not counteracted by the blood armor. And the Sigil of Divination. Just because I like the Soul Network HUD. How much is my thing currently? I'm down to 988,000. Because it's giving me more blood than it's consuming, but it is slowly consuming blood. What do you play?
He looks like he's saying, "Whoa, buddy, what are you doing there? Stop! Oh, what? It's just fire."
Meka.
Dang it, Derek. Why? It's just fire. Stop, buddy. And he's just like, guys.
You just run up to
what's
someone
going
shouting,
on?
Meka!
Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas! Oh, silly off-topic comments. Okay, that makes sense. What other silly off-topic things do we talk about?
I don't know. MMM.
I finally put all my Sanderson books back on the shelf.
Finally.
So I forgot
How
what I
tall
was
is
about to say.
this, and where does it fit?
It's a mimic.
It's.
Are you mimicking me?
Stop it.
Yeah.
That one wasn't even good because there was no context.
Yes, indeed.
Stop it.
What? It's not even me. I'm just reading the live chat.
Dang it.
Blame your brother, not me. Whee.
This looks like... This lady's face looks like those faces under the lake in the Lord of the Rings. It does! I'm not wrong!
Yeah, that one was a particularly hard one to paint. The paint wasn't staying on the plastic. It wasn't primed already, and I thought it was, so... Yeah, that one ended up turning out a bit weird.
Well, it does say Reaper minifigure, so,
That's just the company. Why did it let me just... Wait a second. Oh, okay, I'm not in cheat mode. For a second I thought I was in cheat mode. I was like, why am I in cheat mode? Also, I need to make another
Did this come
donation
in two
sigil.
separate pieces, or?
Most minifigures do.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
At that point when you don't have a single blank slate. And all you need is a single blank slate.
No, this is the arm that goes with this.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely that arm. So, Jonathan, did you get any cool rewards? Because you totally haven't signed in on Agrarian Skies yet?
Listen, I don't have the Minecraft at the house I usually stay at, so you stop it.
Tell that to Ammon. He's the one in chat.
I have not got any cool stuff yet because I don't have Agrarian Skies at the house that I mostly stay at.
He's not logged on yet, so no. As of now, no. He has no fun things.
I wish I had fun things.
No magical red matter armor. Just kidding. Yeah, he's right here sitting next to me. So yes, you're right. He did come over.
Yes, I did.
Let's put the...
But
that one.
Derek's family is using the other computer, so
Yeah, my dad's working. Well, let me just... Become greater, chicken! If only it worked that way.
The step above chicken is fried chicken.
Fried chicken! You infuse blood into a chicken and it becomes fried. I feel like that would be a health and safety nightmare for all KFCs.
It's a secret they don't know.
You have to infuse
It won't be it won't be a problem if you don't tell anybody.
Shh. There's totally not blood infused into fried chicken. Well, if you think about it, when they cook it, there might still be a little bit of blood in it.
That's what
So that would infuse the blood.
Just mix blood with the frying batter.
Don't do that.
Yes, do that.
Don't.
Yes.
What else is random in this room that we can talk about? This is the king. He's bigger than a giant. With his horse, that is.
Off his horse, he's only about this tall. He's Lord Farquaad.
Do you like the altar of sacrifice?
These pants are fake. He's Lord Farquaad. He's
Lord Farquaad!
He's this tall.
I'm show your lip? What? What about my LP? I'm show your LP. I honestly don't understand. Do you understand?
He wants to show the LP that you have.
I have this much. 487,956. Let me just spam it a few more times.
40. Ow.
It's okay, it's what I do. I bleed for a living.
Isn't that life, though? That's what it feels like whenever you go to work. You're like, ow. Oh, this guy looks like...
Eamon's getting greedy. He wants me to kill things for him. There's nothing for me to kill, Eamon. You get no blood.
This guy looks like one of the rough skin guys from Fallout.
Alright, I was gonna make a sigil. Which sigil was I going to make?
And his guns
Lava sigil.
are also messed up.
I still need to do that. I used my lava crystal, so I have to make another one. I need 2 fluxed electrum. I really hope we have more fluxed electrum. I don't want to make more. Okay, we have 2 fluxed electrum. Perfect.
Whoosh!
3 buckets of lava, 2 pieces of glass, and a diamond. 3 buckets.
I saw this and I'm like, oh, guess who it is? It's Katara as the painted lady.
It's the painted lady!
It's the painted...
I could paint her like that.
It's the unpainted lady.
The unpainted lady! This is why. This is why it's interesting to have you over.
And she has tiny baby hands.
The unpainted lady secretly has baby hands. Does that mean Katara
Baby
has
hands
baby
with
hands?
only 3 fingers and a thumb. Look, only 3 fingers.
Yep.
And they're tiny. Her arms are thinner than the staff she has. Katara, you really, you lost a finger? Does Aang know about this?
Have you told him yet?
Has he noticed yet, is the real
Has
question.
he noticed yet? Oh!
Because Aang really, he's not...
He's not the most perceptive person.
No.
I need 6 buckets of lava and a magma cream. And a blank slate. Dang it, I just need to make a ton of blank slates one of these times.
Just do it right now, just...
No, because I'm getting up to saving up for my blood armor. Remember?
No.
Remember this whole thing I've been doing for the last, hour?
No, because I haven't been watching, I've been talking. Because I'm not on, I don't get to watch.
Showering your own speaker. You know, Ammon, I have not understood, a single thing you've said in chat so far.
How bad is your autocorrect? How badly
That is your autocorrect.
How badly does your phone not trust you?
How badly does it not trust you to make the right decisions?
I'm waiting for I'm waiting for an answer.
What the?
Huh.
Nope. 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 Nope.
What just
Nope.
happened?
5 buckets that I clicked for with lava mysteriously turned into 1 bucket. So screw this. I'm spawning them in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay.
That's a lot. There they are.
I found them.
I found them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll just throw out the other 5 that have known that I cheated in. That was weird. Lava sigil needs a magma cream. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba.
Every time you say cream, I'm like, wow, I'm hungry.
You want to eat magma cream?
Derek, I'm very hungry.
You would eat magma cream.
I'm hungry.
It will set you on fire from the inside.
I already have that. It's called heartburn.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's from the way your mat smells.
It's not that bad.
No, seriously, the smell is giving me heartburn. I have a sensitive nose. I guess I'll have to use this scary lady as my minifigure.
No, it's the unpainted lady.
No,
Oh,
this
the
one.
scary lady.
The scary one with the dead eyes.
You have dead eyes.
You're right. I can't help it. I was
You
painted.
know what I love about your eyes? They're just so dead.
I can't help it. I was painted this way.
I was painted this way.
Because I was painted this way.
It's not my fault you were painted by Bob Ross and I was painted by an amateur.
I'm sad at myself most of the time because people keep complimenting me on stuff and I'm like, I don't feel like it's that good. Can you stop? I didn't even want you to see this. I was gonna burn it, but no.
How did you even get on this topic?
Because I'm good at painting, and people say I'm good at painting, and I'm like, I didn't even want you to see.
You should try painting a minifigure sometime.
I'll grab my small brushes.
I
My
have
single hair brushes.
all the paints. Dang it. The hair fell out of the brush.
New one.
Somehow the hair fell out of the... You just pull hair out of your head.
Oh, seriously, I just did. On accident. I just...
No, there's already my hair all over the table, though. Now you can make a brush.
Just use a single hair. No handle, just the hair.
Just the hair. You're using a hair to paint with.
I mean, I would actually paint these for you if you brought the paints from wherever they're at. I would paint whatever ones you wanted me to paint.
Like, we could do that once I'm done making this piece of blood armor. I could get out the paints and you could paint them. Do you have your paintbrushes? Or?
No, do you have paintbrushes?
I have some paintbrushes up there. Some of them are kind of hard currently, but...
Is it in acetone?
No, they're just in water.
Well, they wouldn't be hard if you put them in, like, rubbing alcohol.
Oh yeah, but we don't have rubbing alcohol.
Why do you not have rubbing alcohol? That's a thing that you need to have.
Because we just don't have rubbing alcohol.
It's used for, like, if you get hurt. Does your family not get hurt a lot?
No, we use essential oils. Rainbow farts. I have all the rainbow farts.
Listen.
Rainbow
Essential
farts.
oils are good until they're not.
Tell that to my mom.
I will. Is she home?
I don't think so right now, actually.
Well, then I can't. So why did you even ask me?
Also, I don't really care, because I don't usually get hurt very much. Unless you count sickness from chlorine. Just kidding. You're a
I
good
get
little
hurt
minifigure.
a lot. Don't get sick ever, but I get hurt a
Yeah,
lot.
it's because you're good at breaking yourself. And everything around you by association.
It's all I have, okay?
It's all I have, the ability to break things.
It's all I have. Why do you have to do this?
Because it's my job. What about water? Are you talking about how it's raining? You said showering and now water. Showering, you're on speaker. Or water.
I don't understand. Ammon, you confuse me.
Are you ready to see magic, Jonathan?
Do you have hydrogen peroxide? What do you have?
I have a bound helmet. Just tune it to me. Alright. Here we go. I don't know actually how to turn on...
Ammon just texted me.
I don't remember how to turn on the divination sigil bar. Or do I have to be holding? I don't remember how it works completely with the divination sigil. And if I decide I don't like the divination sigil, I can always just take it out.
I don't know if anybody's gonna come to D&D tonight.
I get sick by water. People had better come to D&D. Ammon, you're coming, right? What are the great things about streaming? Magic. Maybe we might just have to play Gloomhaven tonight or something.
Do you have paint thinner that you could use to clean?
I have
the
enamel
paintbrushes?
thinner.
Nail polish thinner?
Enamel thinner.
Will that work?
I don't know.
Well, if we're going to paint stuff, we need these to not be like
Maybe that's
this.
what we'll be doing tonight, just painting things.
These are terrible.
Yeah, I agree.
I am disappointed.
I agree they are.
Ah! Look at this guy. I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna get you.
Oh.
It looks like he's had some chafing.
Oh, there's magnets.
No, is there? Oh, yeah. There must be. I don't even know what else to do. I already finished steel-powered flight. I'll just move on to your wizard, Steve. Ammon, this is your job.
I'll go check if your dad is off the computer yet.
Okay. Look, I've done all of my half. Your half is all that's left, Ammon.
The only place my half connects to yours is the very beginning and with the Silverwood Wand. I don't even know how it connects to the Silverwood Wand.
You just need to make these 4 things. And then you unlock 3 more quests that you have to do, and actually 4 more quests that you have to do, and then that one. Okay, they'll find you, magic. We'll just go to the nether and find you Vs. Not Vs, yeah, Aura nodes. That's what they're called. You can kill things for it. We've discovered this already, Ammon. You cannot use magic wand essence as an excuse for not doing the quest. Because we found out how to get it.
It's cloning.
Come on, phone. All right.
All right. The purple fairy wand aspect. That literally means nothing to me. You know how far I've gone into Thaumcraft. Like... Alright. Can hear wisps. They're very wispy. I'm getting back up to my 1,000,000. I don't know why the divination sigil isn't doing what it's supposed to. Oh. Let's see if there's a control to activate it. I don't think blood magic has any controls though. Nope. None for blood magic. Conflicting. Wow. They have a whole thing just for conflicting controls.
I mean, that's actually useful.
Like it is, but wow. That means their mod pack has default conflicting controls. And they want you to reset it. No, thank you. I'll reset. You can reset your own controls. Also, I moved the computer because it wasn't getting power. I don't know if you were watching at that point, but I did.
Oh, for a sec I thought you were real stressed out. You were just
Nope.
yawning. I was like, what happened?
We only have 19 lapis blocks!
And 4 of whatever that is.
Which thing?
Is that compressed coal?
That's coal blocks.
Blocks of coal.
We only have 1 ardite or sand, oh no! And 11 blocks of gunpowder.
Can you light a block of gunpowder on fire?
I tried already, it doesn't work.
Aww.
But they do have physics like sand. Just takes forever to break it, because there's no effective tool for it. Not even a shovel. You can't shovel the gunpowder!
Why can you not shovel the gun? Is this a dragon skull? It is.
Yep, that's a dragon slayer. What we could do also is we could watch that really old D&D and laugh about just how bad it is.
I'm not sure I want to.
It's so bad. The newer ones in that series are good, but the first D&D movie is just absolutely horrendous. Everything from the animation to the story to like their cheesy things that they do is just awful.
The main enemy is a supercomputer.
Friggin'! I will never forgive Might and Magic for that. Like, yeah, the primary enemy, you know? And I mean, no, the Oracle. This Oracle that you've been sent to find who can help you. It's a friggin' supercomputer!
Yeah.
Spoiler alert if anyone still plays Might and Magic 6.
Which is...
Other than me.
Which was made in the when again?
Too long ago. I don't even remember. Let's look it up. We have a computer at our disposal. When was Might and Magic 6 The Mandate of Heaven published? 1998.
I don't think anybody's playing Might and Magic.
The game is literally older than me. I play it.
No one plays it, Derek.
My dad plays it.
No one
I have
plays.
streamed it.
No one plays it.
I have streamed it. I win.
You know what we could do?
What?
We could watch and react to our own streams.
We could do that.
Look how terrible our first video was.
Oh no, the first video, the one where we were making forts on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, that was terrible. we should do that.
I even
If
know
we end up
one
not
of-
having D&D, screw it, we're doing that.
I even know one of your old channels, which is just you talking into the camera.
One of my old channels?
Yeah, an
I have
old.
multiple channels?
Yes.
I do?
There's a Derek Wilson. There's a Critical 20. There's another Derek Wilson.
Are you sure it's not another Derek Wilson? You know how many
Yes.
Derek Wilsons there are?
Because I looked in. I go into it. I don't just subscribe to random this.
You don't subscribe to random Derek Wilsons.
No. I went in. I'm like, yep, that's him. I recognize that angle, that TV. Yep.
Wait, so there's a different...
I'll pull it up on my phone.
What was it? Let's see. I just want YouTube. Was it the Mineplex games?
No, it was.
Or is it actually just the TV?
Okay, hold on a minute. I will open a new thing and find it for you because. Okay, here that is. Go into here. Scroll down to the Derek Wilson.
You'll have to show me, because...
Boop.
Yep. 5 years ago.
Yup.
5 years ago.
Yep.
Holy cow.
A 57-second video.
We definitely have to watch those ones as part of it.
30 seconds, 1 minute, 20 seconds, 57 seconds.
And now all I post is 4 hours.
How we've grown.
We post videos so long that no one has time to watch them. And that's all we post. Wait, why is there so much sludge in this? Why is the sludge boiler off?
Is there another one? I'm sure there's another one.
How long has the sludge boiler been off? Why doesn't it have power?
A while.
Sludge boiler? It's
Hold on.
plugged in. There's no reason for you to not be working unless it says idle.
Why am I subscribed to Hat Films? When did I
Unsubscribe right now.
When did I do that? I don't remember doing that.
Ah! The sludge boiler! Freaking hate sludge boilers.
Oh, I know why I'm subscribed to Civilization, because I want to waste my life
Civilization, yeah.
away. Waste my
I
life
bought
away.
the game. I have it.
I have it too, and every time I play it. Oh.
We should play just like us and a couple AI sometime. Even though we'd have to set aside like 6 hours.
You can't play a small session of Civ
Yeah, that's why we have to set aside 6 hours.
an entire day.
We'll set aside an entire day and just play Civ.
Wake up at midnight. Start doing
Midnight?
Wake
Why
up
don't
at-
just go like 6 to 6? Like 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. Instead
Because-
of waking up at midnight.
because we can. We're adults. We can request a day of work off and then just do that all day. Actually, it would have to be 2 days because then we would need to rest.
Yeah.
2 days of work off.
We'll just do it on the weekend. When, like, I already have work off. Or we'll just do it over, like, a spring break or something when I already have work off. Or, like, Martin Luther King Day. Actually, that already passed. One of the other small days, the next small holiday that I get work off.
What is next or second? What is this channel I am subscribed to? Loading. What?
They play Minecraft.
They play Minecraft.
We should just look at what we are each subscribed to. I might have to go through and look at my old liked videos and just see some of those as well, because holy cow, I haven't touched the like button in so long.
Also, just a few weeks ago, I had to go through my YouTube because I was subscribed to... How many was I subscribed to?
If it's like more than 8, then you're just subscribing to be subscribed.
I'm already subscribed to like 20. I think I was subscribed to around 50, and I had to narrow down my subscriptions.
There's no way you would watch 50 channels worth of videos.
I didn't have a job, Derek, and my grades were real low. What do you think I did all day? I didn't have that at my house that I stayed at most of the time.
Not even necessarily Minecraft, just a computer. To be fair, most of my time was spent with D&D notes, so...
Who's Pangerfly?
I don't know.
Panderfly, hello.
Yeah.
Oh, they have. Oh my gosh,
I got another subscriber a couple days ago.
they have. These guys have videos in Flipnote animation.
You know, are we even playing Agrarian Skies anymore? Should we just change this into like the other stream?
We could just do this into Nerd Out podcast.
Like, here, like we're not even playing anymore. I'm just gonna disconnect.
Moving on to the Nerd Out podcast. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, Lindy Beach. Yeah, do you know who Lindy Beach is?
I have no idea.
It's a guy who talks about stuff like old weapons, what shield walls were probably used for.
Interesting.
Helen of Troy, all of this old stuff.
History.
Yeah, but mainly about weapons. There's also a guy called Skullgrim, who also does that type of thing, and they're friends, and they just talk about that sort of thing all the time. Ooh, what sort of... He also talks about... Skullgrim talks about what are these fantasy weapons that are depicted in movies and video games? Would this be
reasonable?
Most answers are no, and he just doesn't talk about it. But when he talks about stuff like, okay, would the orc sword from the Lord of the Rings be a feasible weapon? He's like, yes.
Yeah, it's feasible.
It's...
The hook on the other end is to literally gouge horses.
That is... Is that what they say in the books?
No, that's what it's for. That's the only reason you'd put a hook like that.
We could react to Lindy Beach videos and be like, okay, this is our thoughts on this subject.
Is this just going to turn into reaction videos?
I have no clue what we're gonna do. We just...
The stream is still called Agrarian Skies. We might just change it. Have I ever told you this story?
Yeah, how you...
Okay.
You were in a thing where he was talking about stuff, and he was like, hey, do you want this? And you were like, yes!
Yep. That story. That was a good story. So.
And he also talks about things like the efficacy of being a time traveler in ancient times. And he's like, I have a gun and I could take out the tyrannical king. Yes, you do, but how are you going to get into the castle? And how many bullets did you bring with you?
3.
Yeah, no.
3 bullets.
Let's...
One for the king, one for his second in command, and one for me.
This is the only way this can end. I'm gonna make sure it ends this way. This is my you can't stop me. This is my decision.
You're right. No one can stop you.
Oh, you know what a good video? Go to the YouTubes and go to Skullgrim. It's spelled like this.
So are we actually going to do reaction?
We're just gonna watch one video and then talk about what we see in it. Like, we're gonna react for a little bit, and then that's gonna spur a conversation that we're gonna talk about weapons and that sort of thing.
Here, actually, you know, I'll just stay on this scene.
Why bronze is actually fantastic. What's the difference between a scabbard and a sheath?
Wait.
Protection without guns. Whoever made this knife is completely insane.
America.
The point of spears. Pun intended. The difference between a falchion and a messer.
Let me just deal with this.
No, I didn't mean to click on that video. Go back. Infinite stream.
Streamception.
Streamception.
Yeah, we're still live, and it shows me that every time I come up.
Hey, did you know that you are live?
Ooh,
Yes.
there's a new Critical Role one that they posted because I haven't made the time to watch their streams, so I've just been watching the episodes.
Skullgrim. Skullgrim.
Skullgrim?
Yes. And you can choose from whatever you want, whether it's swords or just choose a weapon, choose a video that interests you, and then we'll spur off of that.
I want to know the most realistic sword duel in movie history.
Alright folks, here is a highly requested topic. The sword fighting from the Polish historical drama film from 1974,
Just a second. Actually, no, I can't. If I make it that good, then let's do like 720.
The Deluge, or Potop in Polish. This has easily the most historically accurate and realistic sword fighting you'll ever see in any movie. They're really...
Do you see on his jacket, he has Thor's hammer as the zipper.
Only a few that can compete with it. The Duelists is one of them, which I should probably do in a separate video. But if I had to pick just one for the single most realistic armed fight scene, it would have to be this. I'm not aware of any other that does it this well and pays that much attention to detail and the realities of historical combat. I think attentiveness to detail is one of the main qualities.
I'm just kidding.
You...
Jersey Hoffman.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
You really think?
I'm joking.
Fencing experts and in general just
ever.
wanted to really make this scene come to life
No,
and make
those
it
are
very
fighting
convincing.
words.
Of course, the entire movie. But the scene that I want to specifically focus on for the purpose of this video is the duel between Colonel Volodyovsky and Andrei Kimicic. I actually looked it up and I already forgot how to pronounce it. I don't speak Polish, so sorry for butchering that. I think it's Kimicic. Obvious spoiler alert, by the way, in case you haven't guessed it, since I'm going to show a few parts of that scene here and there. However, not the end, so I'm not going to take away who wins. I don't own a Polish saber, so I'm going to have to hold the scimitar here. I know,
it's
scimitar. The closest I have.
Pretty.
It's the closest you...
It's pretty.
Quite a number
That is
of interesting little
pretty
nuances that you see during the fighting. In general, it's quite remarkable how they throw those cuts and how they perform the parries. That's exactly what you see in reconstructions
that's sword fighting.
Saber fencing. And it doesn't look like a choreography. You know, in a lot of movies, you can see that it's clearly done for a certain effect in the movie.
Yeah.
For example, Princess Bride, which I talked about recently, is altered quite a bit in terms of fencing. Like they do a lot of things for the safety of the actors and to make things look a certain way. Here, no such concerns. It almost looks like the actors themselves are fighting for real here, not just their characters. And here's an interesting quote from the actor who played Volodyovsky. At some point in the duel, I did not guard myself quickly enough, and there the heaviest of Volbrychski's swords came right towards my head. Everyone froze in terror, and I managed to cover my guard in literally a split second. But the shooting had to stop for a bit because I was pale from the emotions, and Daniel was even more upset. So they went really hard here, and I think a lot of sets and a lot of directors
reminds me of the guy that was
not
trampled
that far
doing Ben-Hur.
to have them fight with this sort of
Or is it-
intensity.
We can't
Because,
talk
I mean,
over
to be
him.
fair,
They won't be able to
it's
hear
a
us.
lot more dangerous
Yeah, they
than
can.
doing it at a greater distance with more exaggerated movements. They're swinging hard, precisely, and with intent, which is exactly what you do in a fight. And also, there are no wasted movements, especially on Volodyovsky's side, which is explained more in detail in the novel, where it's really said that he uses like barely perceptible movements to get the job done. So this just shows his experience and his skill. And the more you can minimize the movement, the better it is. And one interesting thing that Volodyovsky does here is to aggressively present the point at certain times. So they go through an exchange of cuts and parries, and he just sticks out the sword to stop Kimicic's advance. And this is something that it can very much be utilized. The equivalent in German historical sword fighting would be long point. The guard is referred to as long point. So it's typically done in a position like this. It can be
Like
off to the
sabers.
side
Sabers are pretty.
or centered.
That's a scimitar.
I know. Sabers and scimitars
so
are
this
pretty.
is a way to
I don't know.
basically
Like, scimitars are definitely prettier, just in general.
rushes
And they
at
usually
you
have a
from
nicer
one
curve
path, and
than
the other one
sabers.
closing in quickly.
But
This is
sabers
a
have
way
very
to
particular
make them stop in
style.
their tracks. It's not a guard that you should hang out
nice.
in the entire time, which is what a lot of beginners do. They basically kind of hide behind their sword. Don't hurt me, bro, I don't want to do this. But this is really more akin to a porcupine or a hedgehog. It suddenly goes, you don't want to get any closer, I'm spiky. I will stick you and take your gummy bears. Wait, what? And even better, when Kimichi
He's had bad experiences with...
his saber aside.
So, one of his stories, he tells a story of a time where he was in the woods camping, and this porcupine comes up and steals a giant bag of gummy bears, and he can't get it back because it's a porcupine. And he's real upset. He's real upset about it. Since he lives in Canada, that's...
So a porcupine stole his gummy bears.
He did, yep.
For an attack, he just disengages very quickly. So you can see this really effortless way. And again, the actor does a great job here. It's a very, very slight movement. That's exactly what you want. The disengage is not just done in saber fencing, but also in rapier fencing to dip under the opponent's blade. So the smaller the movement is, you make, the better. You know, in the beginning, people may go way overboard and just make this giant movement, which takes too long and is too easy to see. But if instead you do just enough to dip under, perfect. So he really shows off his skill here. And they both show off their speed in this exchange here. So rapidly cut, parry, cut, parry, cut, parry. What's the point of this, you may ask? This may seem like they're not getting anywhere because they're doing the same thing over and over again, but it can be useful in a fight, for one, to get a feel for what your opponent does, how he cuts and parries, and also basically if you're faster than the opponent, if you can tell that you're faster, if you just keep ramping up the speed and your opponent can't catch up, guess what? You're probably going to cut them unless they disengage and step back. So generally I have plenty to criticize in movie fights because there are lots of really weird things that are being done that serve no purpose.
Yeah.
Here I have to really look closer to even find nitpicks. Here's one really small nitpick. So at this moment, Kimichitz has his saber down, so he guards low, and Volodyovsky actually cuts right into his blade, which really doesn't serve any purpose at that point. He's already guarding that quadrant, so it doesn't make sense to cut there, because not only does he defend against that automatically, but he can also use the force that he receives from Volodyovsky's cut to immediately power his own, which is exactly what he does here. Volodyovsky sometimes switches hands and suddenly uses the saber in the left hand. That doesn't really serve any purpose other than to show off his skill, which I'm assuming is exactly the point here. He shows that, you know what, I don't even need to use my strong hand. I can just switch to my offhand in the middle of the fight and I can easily still parry you because you're a noob. Apparently it's a fight over a woman, so I guess wanting to show off here a little bit and dominating this rival is probably part of what Volodyovsky has in mind here. And Kimichitz does a few spinning cuts here. You know what I generally think about spinning in a fight.
Yeah,
now,
it's dumb.
he does it quickly enough that he doesn't just, leisurely present his back to his opponent like the way it's done in a lot of fantasy movies and video games. And he has a bit of a kind of erratic way of moving in general. His style of moving is kind of, I would describe it as kind of flamboyant, a little arrogant, and somewhat just weird. So I think that's purpose here. Like he kind of stalks around, and he does these sort of sweeping movements, and then the spinning backhand cut kind of fits in with that. Personally, I would not want to do something like that. And Volodyovsky clearly decides not to punish that here. I think he probably could. It seems like he has the skill for it. But he is clearly toying with Kimichitz here. That's quite obvious. And as the fight goes on, Kimichitz gets more erratic and more, frustrated. You can clearly see by the way he moves in an angrier, more desperate way, and swinging kind of more recklessly as he starts to realize that he's outmatched. So yeah, that's about all I can say about this. Again, this is very impressive display here of skill on part of the actors, and they are really selling this scene. Like, this is easily the best that I've seen so far. There are always going to be small little things that you can nitpick here and there, but the funny thing is, if you think about it, if you record sparring, for example, like sparring, full contact sparring in HEMA or any kind of other martial art, or even if you had the option to record real combat, you would find a lot of things where afterwards you could look at it and be like, wait, why did you do that? That was bullshit. And guess what? People make mistakes sometimes. Like, I can
just remember me at the Renaissance Fair in August that I still want to go to.
What is this weird step there? And I was off balance there. What was I thinking there? And blah this and blah that. So taking all that into account, I don't think you could do it much better than this in terms of fight choreography. Anyway, I hope you found this interesting and entertaining. If you want to know more about Polish saber fencing, Richard Marzin is your guy. He wrote a book about the topic. It's going to be linked down below. He's also written this book here, Historical European Martial Arts and Its Context, also highly recommended. And I also have a link to Call of Athena and
Cult of Athena
sells
swords.
Swords? Swords? They sell swords.
Swords.
They sell swords.
Soul swords.
They sell swords.
So,
I don't like you.
that's about it.
That's not funny.
They sell swords.
Yeah. Anyway, that wasn't so much good for discussion as it was just like, yeah, that was really good. But we can talk about swords now.
Yep.
So,
We can talk about swords. Stream section.
What is your opinion on the... What is the separation point between short sword, normal sword, long sword? Because it's really blurred.
By normal sword, are you referring to a bastard sword?
Just
Or just
a sword that's...
a sword that doesn't quite fit into either category?
Mm-hmm.
Well, a short sword... That's a good question.
The lines are very blurred.
Yeah. Because they don't necessarily have to be that length. It's more about the way you use them.
Do you want to expand
It's more about...
the thing so they can see us talking rather than streamception?
I'd say it's more about the style of fighting. I'd say that long sword, short sword, and those things are not quite so much the length of the blade as opposed to how it is used.
That makes more sense than just the length of the blade anyway.
Yeah.
Because throughout history, so any type of weapon changes.
Yeah.
Even specific styles of weapons that are called, like, the German Messer, for example. It always looks similar, but it changes enough that you're like, is that really the Messer? Is it? Are you sure?
Yeah.
And the style has to accommodate the change in build, because if it doesn't, like, if a sword, let's say, changes from having a straight blade to having a curved blade, and you still use all of the same things from the straight bladed sword on that.
And it's technically the same style of sword. Or you're just using it poorly.
It won't work if all of a sudden from a straight sword you have a majorly curved sword, like, say,
like
not
like more like an infantry saber.
Yeah, if you're using it like a straight sword, you're gonna use it poorly.
Yeah, you're gonna have troubles.
Why have I not cut the person? Because you haven't touched them with the blade yet.
You've barely touched their blade. There's a reason you have 3 holes in you.
There's a reason why you're on the ground right
Goes
now.
to parry, just misses completely because the blade is curved.
Yep. death would ensue.
Yep, much death.
And what are... Oh, do you know anything about the Roman gladius?
Small amounts.
People keep almost always saying, large amounts of people, most of the people I've talked to anyway, say it was only used for thrusting. And I'm
No.
like,
No.
why would it be sharp on the sides if it was only used for thrusting?
Funnily enough,
Thrusting is very useful, and it
medieval
was used a lot.
swords, traditionally medieval swords, were very sharp on the edges, or no, were rather actually duller on the edges and sharper on the tip, used for thrusting. Most swords that were older than the medieval era, like the Roman gladius, were sharp all over. So they were less used for thrusting than most medieval swords. They were used more as a slashing weapon.
And the people I talk to, their prime argument is, in the texts, it always says, and they used the thrust, and the thrust, and Well, yes, because that's better for the armor of the time than just hacking at a person.
And
But still, hacking is very, very useful.
And the Romans were extremely intelligent when it came to combat. There was
They
a
were
time
very
that
smart.
10,000 Romans killed 1,000 Russians.
You mean
Because they were in a...
You said
a million.
a million Russians?
They were down farther in, like, this bowl-ish. And they set up a phalanx.
The
They
Romans or the
set
Russians?
up the Romans did. Because there were 10,000 Romans, and they were surrounded by Russians. So they set up their...
You know who couldn't defeat the Russians?
They set up their traditional shield wall. Napoleon.
Napoleon and the Germans. And you know why they couldn't defeat the Russians? Because of a season.
Yeah, exactly. It was always the season.
And then
If they had just waited 6 months, they could have taken them.
And then the Romans go in there and they're like, this is fine.
Yeah, and then they end up killing 1 million Russians.
Anyway,
Because
shield wall.
Their shield wall is so preposterously strong.
Because that's
Because
one of the
their
main things
shields
they
are
train.
so close together, and they have enough space to get their spears through as well.
That's one of the first things they got trained in was spear and shield.
Yeah.
So, if you're trained from the very beginning, spear and shield.
Like, as long as they knew how to set that up, it didn't matter if they could actually fight.
Get into
Like-
get into the phalanx, guys. We're in for the defensive.
Like their traditional turtle formation, when there was just shields everywhere and there was nothing anyone could do. Because the chance to actually get through those shields with an arrow in between one of the gaps was next to impossible.
Because they were good with shields.
And because there were almost no gaps.
Yeah, because of their rectangular shields instead of circular.
Yeah.
Or other things like
their
that.
shields were made for that tactic.
They were made for walling.
Speaking of shields, it kind of makes me think of the elven shields from the Lord of the Rings.
Do you have pictures to pull up
Yes.
and put on stream?
Lord of the Rings Weapons and Warfare. Let me just look at the table of contents. This book is falling apart.
You obviously used it a lot. I mean, you could just pull it up on the thing.
Or I could just open this. Elves of the Second Age. I believe that's what I need. It's page 12. Shield. So,
That does look like holes for...
that is an elven shield.
It does look like it has holes for spears.
It was leaf-shaped after traditional elven style. It had nooks on either side, so right or left-handed people could stick their spears through. And it tapered to a point at each end, and those points were very sharp. I don't know...
I think... This is those big two-handed...
Yeah, those are their big two-handed swords.
Equal length blade and handle swords are
Yeah,
really... I like them a lot
They're very
because of the
dexterous.
leverage.
Here's a picture of the back of an elven shield. Here we go.
So it has a single
They had
bar
a
through.
single bar so that it could be wielded offensively. So it was sharp on the edges. So they would swing it around and hit people if they lost their weapon. Or stab people with it.
I'm gonna stab you with my shield. Huh? Hold on. Nope, you don't get time to hold on.
And then you get, like, Eglos, which is just ridiculous. Icicle.
And can you show them that and describe what it is?
Eglos, I don't know if light will let you see it very well. That picture right there. Aegolos is Elvish for icicle, and basically the poem, well, what's written on it is, Gil-galad wields a well-made spear, the orc will fear my point of ice. When he sees me in fear of death, he will know my name, Aegolos.
Mm-hmm. And it's a spear.
It's a glaive.
A glaive. Mm-hmm.
It's wielded like a glaive, but they refer to it as a spear in it.
Well,
because like if you actually
language.
look at him wielding it, the blade is actually fairly short.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like a Numenorian spear, which had about 5 feet or 7 feet of
haft,
and then about a 2-foot blade.
Mm-hmm.
Numenorians, page 23.
Okay, so we're going
Lord of the Rings now.
We're going from this to
that
fantasy.
That was the tip of their spear. That was the tip of a Numenorian spear.
Anyway, back to the Romans.
Yep.
I guess we're starting from the beginning. Let's go to the very beginning. What's some of the first weapons ever made? Since we're going back in time.
See.
Orc shield wall. I don't think I remember this part.
So
I remember the Battle of Helm's Deep, but I don't remember the orcs having a shield
at the Battle
wall.
of the Helm's Deep.
Oh yeah, they did. They
or
had
Battle
the turtle
of the
deal.
Hornburg. They had it. They had the Roman shield wall when they were coming up the causeway to the Hornburg.
Mm-hmm.
I can't find any good pictures of it. This, right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they weren't doing it on the sides, which is where their main problem was.
Because they kept getting shot.
Because the archers were over here.
I think I see a problem.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just... They were using Roman tactics.
Mm-hmm.
Poorly, but they were using them.
Mm-hmm.
Because there were archers up above and people throwing rocks as well, which were just bouncing off these shields, which are also large and rectangular.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you can tell that the people who were doing the combat knew what they were doing enough to say that a bunch of Urukai knew what they were doing and had been trained
Enough
to use a shield wall.
So we just put our shields real close together then? Yep.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Everyone on the side just keeps dying. I feel like this isn't how it's supposed to go down.
We made a terrible error.
We messed up. We done goofed.
We done goofed, guys. And this is why we lost. Deus Vult.
Also, freaking Gandalf in this bit. This is like one of my favorite bits when Gandalf comes over and Éomer, just like...
It's a ridiculous scene, though, but it's so powerful.
Yeah. Just like...
I mean, those are gigantic
King
spears.
stands alone. No. Not, yeah, those are like 10-foot spears.
How
Which are completely unwieldy, and there's no point in every single person having a 10-foot spear.
But in, I think it's either Greece or Rome, they had really long spears, and they put blocks of wood at the end to weigh it down, so it was less.
Yeah, but those don't have blocks of wood on the end. They're just 10-foot spears.
That's because... Are those orcs?
Those are Urukai.
Urukai. That's because they're dumb.
Yeah. But yeah, this scene is like one of my 2 favorite scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Can they see the screen?
not currently. I probably should let them since we're looking at pictures.
Since we're looking at the thing and they don't know what we're talking about.
America. We'll just put it there. Put it right next to us.
Mm-hmm.
We'll line it up at the center. Why not? But this picture. This is the one I'm talking about. This is like my favorite scene. Also, this one of the 10-foot spears. This is pointless.
10 foot. What do you think one of the first more sophisticated weapons was? Do you think it was a spear?
I would say yes.
Because obviously people were throwing stones and stuff like that before anything else.
I feel like spear was the first really sophisticated weapon. Also, you get this shield wall as well, which is...
Dwarves' shield
which
wall?
is the dwarven shield wall. Then again, they're not covered on top. It's just a straight line. But it is using the Roman style as well.
Except for you need 2 dwarves.
Except you need 2 dwarves who stand on top of each other, pretty much. Actually, this one was crouching, that one was standing, this one was crouching, that one was standing, but... You get the point. And again, these freaking 10-foot spears! As soon as the close combat starts, you're just gonna have to throw them away.
Yep.
Like, at least a short spear? it's useful in close combat.
Let me just swing this 10-foot pole around.
But a 10-foot pole, you're not going to do anything. To maybe knock someone off his warg.
I've been listening to a lot of and watching a lot of combat styled stuff and survival styled stuff as well. And what I've noticed
And the
is
freaking elves.
whenever you take little people camping, like children, whenever you take children camping, they always end up carving a spear. Even if they've never seen something like that before.
It's almost intuitive.
They're like, yeah, we're in the woods, we kind of need something.
I lost a brain cell just barely.
Yeah. They intuitively know this is a thing we need.
Yeah.
So we've obviously been doing that for a very long time.
Yeah. I think it's interesting, speaking of camping, there was someone who was really good at carving, and he carved this large wooden chain with links about that big.
Oh, yeah.
That was actually a decent length. I almost wish he'd made it into a flail. That would have been way cooler.
Wooden flail. All wood. No metal. Just wood.
Yeah, Allomancers can't affect it. I'm just kidding.
Nobody can defeat me. The doctor can't affect it. With the sonic screwdriver doesn't work.
Nothing works on it.
Nothing.
Except for fire. Just cover it in oil.
Well,
I've only got a few minutes, but I'll make these few minutes count.
and if it was a super dense wood, it wouldn't burn that fast either.
It was pine.
Oh, well then, that's gonna be gone.
Actually, it wasn't pine. No, it was a harder wood.
Oh.
It wasn't oak, but it was.
Well,
it was
that
about
makes sense.
it was about middle. It was about mid.
That makes sense
hardness.
because oak in Utah does not grow straight.
Also, there's no fudging way he could carve that out of oak. I don't care how good he was. He only had a couple days. With a pocket knife. There's no way if it was oak.
You need my type of knife, that fixed blade gigantic.
You need like a bandsaw. You can get through oak.
Anyway, spears. And everybody knows how to thrust a spear.
Everyone knows. It's
Even if they've
just
never seen
so
a spear
simple.
before, they're like, oh,
if
this
you
has
give
a
them
point.
a spear, they're going to push the point at the enemy.
Like,
Granted, if you get really skilled in spears, and the Way of Kings talks about this a bit. Kaladin Stormblessed, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert for what?
Way of Kings. Probably Words of Radiance, actually.
And this
Eh,
is
Way of
a
Kings
book
too.
by who?
Brandon Sanderson.
Alright.
So, he is actually incredibly good with a short spear.
Mm-hmm. So is that like this tall, this tall?
Think of a regular spear, and then take about 2 feet off it.
So like a 7-foot spear down to 5 feet?
Yeah.
Alright.
Or maybe even like 4 feet. So it's a pretty short spear. And he almost uses it, from what I understand from the descriptions, as both a slashing weapon and a stabbing weapon.
Hmm. So it's basically a really long-handled sword with a short blade.
Yeah. Because dark guys aren't allowed to use swords. So he uses a spear instead.
This isn't a sword, it's a messer. It's a knife.
And
this
again,
is a knife.
Another spoiler alert for the same thing. When he does get the ability to use his Stormlight to improve his skills, basically it makes him perfect with a spear, so no one can hit him.
That sounds like cheating.
Because the thing about Stormlight is it only slightly enhances the person's abilities. So if you're not good in the first place, it won't help you. But Kaladin was so good that it perfected his abilities.
And if he had been able to film that, he would have been like, okay, I know how to do this now.
It's like...
Just insanity.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've seen, I think the youngest person I've seen do it was 4.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't know what a spear is.
It is instinctual that we have a way to defend ourselves.
We're like, we're in the woods.
Spears are the easiest things to make. Because we can't obviously just carve a sword. It won't be effective.
No.
But a spear, made just out of a branch, has enough strength behind it that it has more than one use if you were to stab something with it.
And it doesn't even have to be all that sharp.
It really doesn't.
And if it snaps, you still have a sharp stick.
And if it snaps, you have 2 sharp sticks.
Haha! You just doubled my arsenal. I win. I still win. You cannot defeat me.
Suddenly goes to dual wielding.
I am a human. You cannot win. This is a unicorn.
It's a unicorn. It's a very friggin' blonde unicorn.
It's
Like
not.
cheese blonde. If
that-
cheese blonde was a color, that's that hair color.
It's so ugly.
I might have to repaint the hair sometime because it's
Yeah.
just such an awful color.
It's like who.
It is cheese blonde. It is the
Who-
color of cheddar cheese
Who
with
sprayed?
a little bit of red out of it.
Who spraying cheese all over my horse?
Who sprayed cheese in my horse's mane and tail and all over the horn?
Who did this? Also, why does my horse have a horn?
Also, yeah, why does my horse have like a twisting, spiraling horn?
When did this happen? Why didn't you tell me this? You're no help. Anyway, yeah, spears. Spears are good. I like spears. Then after the spear, people figured out how to use the non-pointy end to hurt people. New scientist, timeline of weapons.
I just figured I'd look up something.
400,000 BC. That's not 400,000.
Pretty sure that's a nuclear bomb. 400,000 BC. The earliest evidence of humans using spears is in part of Germany.
So we were right.
We were correct.
Without any... Now we can continue talking. This is a good
One
place to-
population of modern chimpanzees uses spears to hunt bush babies,
Yes, actually.
suggesting the technology may have been used by our most primitive ancestors.
Also, what really scares me is I don't remember who exactly, but I know it's a fact that in Africa somewhere, one of the militaries in Africa trained chimpanzees to use machetes as a weapon.
That's terrifying.
Yes. And also, since that war ended just after they finished training them,
I
the
think-
chimpanzees were released back into the woods, and now they steal machetes and hunt with them.
I think that gives a whole new meaning to the term guerrilla warfare.
You are a terrible human.
So, apparently, according to this, the atlatl was the second weapon made.
Oh yeah, the throwing spear.
Yeah.
Just two sticks with the carved notch that
Yeah.
you could throw.
That could effectively kill a deer at 40 meters.
And that was made by Native Americans.
And then boomerangs.
Well, that was a big
That's
jump.
surprising. Most boomerangs do not come back when thrown.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah,
But
of
then
course they don't.
Once they figured out how to do that,
The oldest boomerang yet, 23,000 years, was made of a mammoth tusk.
cave in Poland.
Yeah, it was in Poland.
That's
And then arrowheads by 20,000 BC. So arrows had replaced the atlatl at that point.
hey, we don't need to throw our spear. We can make a small spear and then
And make it go farther.
launch it with another stick.
We'll
and
launch
string.
it with some string. And then you have horses.
Let's talk about
Yeah.
boomerangs for a sec. There are discovered returning boomerangs from a long time ago. And primitive peoples figuring out, hey, if I carve it this certain way, it comes back, is remarkable, really. Them being able to figure out, if I carve it in a certain way, it will come back,
Yeah.
is...
Some of them aren't quite the same, like that one.
Yeah, that's a non-returning boomerang.
Yeah.
The shape has to be right, and the...
That's apparently a boomerang too. I'm just kidding, it's probably not. That looks more like a tomahawk. But it is kind of curved slightly, so it's a boomerhawk. Rocket-powered ancient weapons. Well, that just sounds like a terrible idea.
Do you have ballistic glass that you can hide behind? That's not a boomerang.
Do you have a ballistic
It's
boomerang?
labeled boomerang, but that's a slingshot.
That, they can call it a ritual boomerang magic wand. That's a banana. That's a carved banana.
You have carved a banana,
You
congratulations.
have carved a banana and carved stuff into it.
Oh, so
Yeah.
that's how...
But that is not a boomerang. I will
Okay,
not
so
accept
that's
that
how
one.
the boomerang works.
So
I've never
it
seen...
swerves left up and then glides back, which makes sense.
It
It's
does-
Like, it's like you can't just throw it one way and have it curl around. No, it goes up and back.
Yeah, and I've never seen a diagram depicting how it worked. So that's... Oh, so it doesn't expand when you click on it. Thank you, Google!
What about that one?
That is
Boomerangs.
depicting a car.
Boomerangs. What? Flight of the propeller wheel.
That...
I don't even know what this is. Boomerang-shaped UFO.
How do I get to UFOs?
Like, there's a boomerang shape, and last year boomerang has finally returned from Rio, Paris, and Rome.
Just people continue throwing it.
People just keep throwing. That reminds me of a game where this little girl wanted to get her paper airplane to Santa. So she would throw it and someone would find it, like write a little bit more on it, and then throw it. In this game. It's just like, what? Are people really this insane?
It's insane but wholesome, so, he died screaming.
What killed Kakucha? I cannot pronounce that name.
Kakucha.
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 Kakucha. Boomerangs for kids to consider in 2019. Superman. I love this boomerang.
Those are pliers.
Boomerang straight jaw mini grip pliers.
But why is boomerang labeled in there?
This is the best boomerang. The Lego battery. Non-returning boomerang. Yeah, especially with an accident. I'm just kidding.
Anyway, boomerangs are really sophisticated aerodynamic tools.
Yeah.
For the even returning boomerangs as far back as, let's say, just 1,000 years ago. Returning boomerangs were a thing, definitely.
Yeah.
And that must have been like magic for the first people to see it.
Came back?
What? That's...
First off, that's clickbait.
Yes. Secondly...
Paper planes that fly 10,000 feet.
Secondly, a Hindu swastika, which means peace, which the Nazis ruined.
Yeah.
It only takes one people to ruin
It will
stuff
literally never be the same again. No one will ever be able to view that and think peace. Except for maybe 30,000 years in the future.
Oh.
Once they've forgotten about everything except that particular symbol.
Anyway. Yeah.
Can we talk about this name for this? Oh. The Tabernacle of the Holy Boomerang. There is a person throwing a boomerang at a UFO.
And that boomerang is going everywhere. Anyway, let's go back to the other place where there was stuff to be learned.
So at 5,300 horses were first domesticated. I should probably make sure no one's typing in chat. Okay. In Kazakhstan. And horses are instrumental in the history of warfare.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Only in the 20th century do armies turn away from reliance on horses. And then the Bronze Age, so metal daggers, swords. So
it took us
395,000 years before we developed swords and daggers.
Effective swords and daggers.
Reasonable swords and daggers, yes.
And
then
there
swords are intertwined with Celt mythology and ritual in Britain, reflecting their importance to society. Perhaps echoed by the Excalibur myth, swords are ceremonially placed in rivers, perhaps as offerings to gods.
Anyway.
They want a new person to become kings, they're just dropping swords in rivers.
Did you know that's actually where a lot of sword finds come from? The banks of rivers?
The swords that had to die.
So...
To continue reading this premium article, no, I'm not subscribing to your dumb website.
Anyway, so I have found a few accounts of wooden swords.
Yeah.
From mostly Oceania.
Yeah.
Because they have a lot of hardwoods there. Many, many, many hardwoods. And they're actually surprisingly effective.
Yeah.
But the reason why we haven't found any on mainland places is because the woods aren't hard enough and they break and then people throw them out and let them rot.
Yeah.
So we haven't found any. But I'm sure there are some that were made, at least.
So according to this, 500 BC is when the traction trebuchet is thought to have been developed in China. And it took 12 people to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it went 125 meters, which is really good for that time.
And then the ancient
Greeks.
Greeks.
And then the Greeks developed the ballista, which was...
Giant crossbow.
Which is ridiculously powerful.
It's a giant crossbow.
It says giant crossbow. It hasn't said crossbow yet. Can we talk about how it hasn't said crossbow?
Maybe they found out how to scale it down later, like how they scaled
Fair
guns
point.
down from cannons.
And then gunpowder's invented the fire lance, the first rocket, known as the fire arrow, Is that the thing from Mulan?
Song Dynasty, yeah. See, it says right there. You would have answered your question. Song Dynasty.
Under the Song... Yeah, that still doesn't help, though. New technology partly driven by aggressive neighbors like the Jin Dynasty to the north. And then...
Let's talk about China for a second.
Wait, the Golden Age of Islam rescues the advances of class... This is not a weapon! Oh, firearms technology develops rapidly, and Egyptian soldiers are the first to use hand cannons. Really?
Hold on a minute. And 12,000.
Egyptian soldiers!
Oh, wait. It's in... Is that... Are we still in the BCs?
No.
No. Okay.
Egyptian soldiers are the first to use hand cannons. I never would have thought that
Let's
Egypt
talk
would
about
have done
China for a minute.
that. China! They have killed many people by making them ingest mercury that's supposed to make them live forever. And there's supposedly a city with a river of mercury somewhere buried under China.
Yeah. Anyway,
Mercury!
that's not where I wanted to go with this.
Also gunpowder.
Chinese weaponry.
It's actually really interesting. And very brutally effective.
Yeah, because they like to stick to they in the East, most Eastern cultures like to stick to a tradition.
Yeah.
And if you stick to a tradition for a long time, people perfect it.
Yeah.
Whereas in Western culture, we like to move on really quickly.
Yeah.
And adopt new things.
Though
And we don't ever really completely perfect.
that does make me think of the samurai's katana, though.
Yeah.
It is renowned for being sharp, it's strong, it's everything. You know the reason they had to make it like that?
Because they had poor steel.
The iron was so bad that if they didn't, the blades would have shattered.
Yeah, but they figured out how to do it goodly.
But they used that to their advantage and folded it so many times that there was no possible way that that was going to break.
They folded out the impurities.
All of the impurities.
Is this done yet? No, you still
So,
have to fold it a million more times.
That also reminds me of the Viking sword that we know about.
Ulfbert?
I think so.
Yeah.
The
it's
one
called
that,
Ulfbert.
like, normal swords, if you put them under great stress on a particular point, the entire sword will shatter.
Mm-hmm.
But that sword will break on a clean line. And is the strongest and will withstand much more pressure. We don't know how to make that.
Mm-mm.
But it is extremely well-developed technology. Like stained glass windows. We lost the knowledge of how to make the proper stained glass windows.
Yeah, so the scale of how I think human intelligence went. As soon as... Yep. We escalated, and I think our peak in general may have been just before the Middle Ages. Our peak was... We still haven't recovered from then, in my opinion. Because in the Middle Ages... Listen, controversial. Hold on. But the Catholic Church back then started to withhold all all information. They were like,
Yeah.
okay, this is ours. Nobody gets to know this. And then the library burned down.
Yeah.
And then everything is gone.
Yeah. It's like...
So that's a problem. We shouldn't withhold information. Information should be free.
It's like the Monty Python song. So if you're feeling very small and insecure... Oh, I forget the next line. How amazing and unlikely is your birth. And let's hope that there's intelligent life somewhere out in space, 'cause there's bugger all down here on Earth.
Yeah. We lost...
We lost all of it.
I don't... It's like
The
how...
intelligent people aren't here anymore.
Yeah.
They're gone.
If we could bring back people from before the Middle Ages, they'd be like, you guys... Really? First of all, this electricity stuff, interesting.
Like, it's interesting.
We didn't have that.
You rely on it way too much.
We can do that without electricity. Can we?
You can't live without these little boxes? These little boxes? We would walk miles to deliver a message.
And we weren't tired.
And we were just fine!
And you guys walk a mile and you're like, oh no.
You just walk a mile and you're winded!
Yeah, we were cleverer.
Yeah.
I don't think...
We were less intelligent, but we were a lot wiser.
And most of the time, I appreciate wisdom more than intelligence.
Wisdom is far better than intelligence. Because
I-
intelligence is pointless without wisdom.
Yeah, you need
For
people to know how to use things.
For example, Thomas Edison. We are all taught that he made the light bulb.
He stole
He stole it from Tesla.
it. And he fired Tesla. Oh, you thought...
However, The only reason Edison is known for creating the light bulb is because he had an entire lab of people.
Where Tesla did
Like,
it by himself.
they say he tested like 10,000 things. No, his lab assistants tested 10,000 things. He did bugger all.
Whereas,
And while Tesla had developed alternating current and he developed direct current, I think I got that the right way around.
yes, that's the right way.
He would try to show how dangerous alternating current was by electrocuting elephants and making the electric chair.
And also,
He was a psychopath.
also DC is a lot more dangerous.
Yeah,
than
it's
AC.
a lot more dangerous. And
Because-
AC is better for traveling long distances.
And our bodies use DC. That's why it's more dangerous, because it converts better.
Yeah, it's just freaking. Some people we think are as just heroes are the worst kind of people. Sure, he made the light bulb usable by finding out the carbon bamboo is pretty good.
The carbon bamboo is pretty good. We could use that.
Burned bamboo is pretty good. But he did not make the idea of a light bulb. There had been so many people who thought of how to make a light bulb, they just didn't know how they would execute it.
Anyway, back to China.
Back to China. And inventions.
Traditionalism. I think we should have a good mix of traditionalism and progressivism.
I kind of want to play Civ while we talk about this.
We can do that.
Let's do it.
Because if we have an equal parts traditionalism and whatever the word for progressing is, progressivism, whatever it is, I don't care. Not classical political progressivism, but like in, you know what I'm saying. If we have equal parts, we'll be able to advance, but also perfect what we have.
Yeah.
Whereas here in the, let's say, just in America in general, we like to move on and accelerate really quickly. People, I think, we still have the ability to make VHS tapes and that sort of thing, but do we remember how to get there if we lose the information? No. We don't.
Yeah.
We haven't maintained the
That's the
ability.
Civ doesn't want me to play it.
Well, I guess it's back to China.
I wanted to play Civ. I don't have anything else that's like related to this, except for Civ, and the painting appeared as one of my great artists, and yeah, that's on my wall. Which is creepy. I'm just gonna uninstall and set Civ to reinstall, because I think I was having this trouble before.
Where should we go back to?
Lord of the Rings.
Let's go all the way back to Egypt.
The Egyptians were fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
We don't
When-
know how they did most of their stuff.
and when you think about how the pyramids were built, that stone was mined up the Nile. They had to ship it down the Nile to the pyramids.
Mhm.
And they successfully did that with multiple ton blocks of stone.
They have very buoyant woods over there.
Yeah.
Okay, so Egypt. The Egyptians, they used chariots, correct?
Yes. They were, I think, one of the first people to develop chariots. That might be incorrect.
It's probably...
Citation needed.
Yeah, it's probably incorrect, because I'm pretty sure somebody figured out we could put wheels on this horse before the
Let's
Egyptians.
do Google! Who invented the chariot?
Egyptians
Chariots of the Egyptians and Assyrians. So it's not just the Egyptians. The Assyrians did it as well. With whom the bow was the principal arm of attack. Were richly mounted with quivers full of arrows, the Egyptians invented the yoke saddle for the chariot horses in 1500 BC.
So I'm not sure they invented
Where
it,
did the
but they
chariot originate from?
they
Ah,
advanced it.
history. Chariots seem to have originated in Mesopotamia
Mhm.
in the 3rd millennium.
That's what I was thinking.
So,
that it
yeah,
had to be around there.
So Egypt and Assyria, neither of those are actually in Mesopotamia, unless I'm mistaken. I think Assyria might be right next to Mesopotamia. But
Mesopotamia, new map, open map. Where is Mesopotamia?
where is Mesopotamia? Yes, correct me, please. Thanks.
In Iraq.
Where was Assyria?
Assyria, that was a large empire that took over.
Oh, right. It was enormous, right. It was friggin' like all around the Mediterranean and everywhere else.
Mm-hmm. So,
It's like the
they
new Rome.
perfected it, but it was probably invented by some farm guy.
But it was
like,
invented in Mesopotamia.
It was probably invented by some farm guy who was like, hey,
I need to move lots of stuff. Let's make a chariot.
I'll put wheels on my horse,
On the horse.
and then I can do all the stuff that I need to do. And then people looked at him like he was crazy. And then the Egyptians were like...
That guy could probably plow fields like nobody else.
Mhm.
Just attach stick a plow to the back of that.
And everybody looked at him like he was crazy. And then the Egyptians were like, don't tell him.
But he'd be laughing maniacally.
And then the Egyptians were like, don't tell him, but we're going to steal that idea.
We're gonna kill people with it.
We can use
Isn't
it for
that
war.
just what people do, though? How can we use this to kill people?
How can we weaponize this? Like, just
That was a very shrill noise.
a bottle. The bottle wasn't meant to hold things. And then people were like, huh, bah, weapon.
And then stab someone, yeah.
Stabify.
Every innocent invention has had at least one person try to kill someone with it. Especially electricity.
Hey, how zzz.
Here, can you hold this from... Yeah. Granted, electricity is just naturally dangerous.
Can you
but-
search up Egyptian weapons? Because I want to
Ooh.
talk about Egyptian weapons for a minute. Obviously, the bow, because that was used everywhere.
Well, yeah. Egyptian weapons for sale. Shield, spears, mace. Oh, they use maces. Military of ancient Egypt. Wikipedia. And the Kopesh. We can't forget the Kopesh.
Obviously, the Kopesh. Nobody forgets about the Kopesh. Hello, phone? Can you not?
Projectile weapons, military organizations. There's only a section for projectile weapons. Soldiers of Egypt. Okay. The throw stick.
Okay. Probably a direct translation because they didn't have a lot of words
Yeah.
back then.
It was probably something similar to a spear.
It appears that the Egyptians...
Most of the Egyptians were intent on using this holy weapon for it. This weapon for it had a holy effect as well. What?
Egypt? That's the only answer we have?
Fair point. They had a lot of gods and believed a lot in them. The spear. So, the throw stick was probably the predecessor to the spear then. Otherwise, they're just throwing sticks at people.
It's not a sophisticatedly thrown stick, like thrown straight at the person.
No, it's just
thrown stick.
It's a thrown stick. The bow and arrow, the composite bow,
They had composite bows with, I think it was tusk.
and the sling. I like how the sling is after the composite bow. Obviously, the greatest advance in technology. The composite bow to the sling.
When you think about it, the sling is a bit more advanced than the bow, whereas the bow is just...
Well, yeah. And it's not like the slingshot, it's the sling.
You have to use a lot more dexterity to
Yeah.
get that to work.
Military of ancient Egypt.
They had a navy. I remember that now.
Yeah, they had a small navy.
The throw
Egyptian
stick.
was mainly aquatic. Before the New Kingdom, the Egyptian military was mainly aquatic.
The New Kingdom was when?
I don't know.
A time.
There were two different types of ship in ancient Egypt, the reed boat and the vessel made from large wood planks. I like that name. The vessel made from large wood planks. The plank ships created the naval fleet and gave it its fierce reputation. These early ships lacked an internal rib for support. Oh, that's not terribly good. Each boat has a
Well, you didn't really
section,
need it on the
generally
Nile.
under the main deck, where the slave rowers would sit. Oh yeah, it was Egypt. If there weren't slaves, they'd be surprised. The steering oar was
you
operated
didn't
by one
need
man.
a main rib for support on the Nile because it's a river.
Yeah,
So that makes sense.
but they also would occasionally take him to the Red Sea. Unless I'm
That's a
mistaken.
little bit more important there, but still not as bad as the ocean.
Well, yeah. But even then, the Red Sea's pretty big. Like, it has similar effects to an ocean.
Let's talk about Vikings.
Vikings!
Weapons.
Viking weaponry.
History.com.
That seems like a reliable source. Actually, no, it's historyonthenet.com.
Oh, that's an old name.
History on the net. It's not even like history.net. No, it's historyonthenet.com.
I hope it's not a .net site. That's old.
Homestarrunner.net. It's .com.
You're taking a while
It's
to load.
not loading. Come on.
A Viking axe is called a bearded axe. Listen. Hold on.
There we go.
Back to Wikipedia.
Back to Wikipedia. Bows and arrows, yeah, they're made from yew, ash, or helm. The draw force of a helm
Is
the draw
or
force
helm of a boat.
The draw force of a 10th century bow may have reached some 90 pounds of force, resulting in an effective range of at least 200 meters. A yew bow found at Viking Hedeby. Oh, it's a Danish Viking Age trading settlement. Which is probably a fully fledged warbow, had a draw force of well over 100 pounds.
Makes sense.
They had spears, other pole arms. What? Oh, a mail piercer or a hewing spear was a type of pole arm used in... usually translated in English as a halberd.
Ah.
So the spear with the axe attached to the side.
Yeah, I know what a halberd is. Don't insult my weaponry intelligence.
Akin to a glaive. I like how they have these little pop-ups.
Glaive is a general term.
Oh yeah, it is.
Look how general the
A
term.
glaive is a European polearm, consisting of a single-edged blade on the end of a pole. That's a pretty...
That's a broad term.
Viking halberds.
Clickify?
Click on it. This is what this has turned into. It talks more about the etiquette. The hugs... I can't read any of this.
The hewing spear.
This is references. So these are almost all in some other language. But they're in, like, the thrusting spear, carried a blade 2 L's long, or... Yeah.
What's an L? How long is an L?
So, from what we can understand, there were 5 different types of polearms, but we have no idea what they were. A barbed spear or a hook spear.
Oh, it's like a trident.
Bearded axe. Here you go. Here's the bearded axe. Another halberd-type weapon that's supposed to be thrown, and describes it in detail, calling it also... So the Kestja was the mail piercer, not the Atgeir.
Mm.
The Hogsblot is literally a hewing spear.
Remember
Stroke,
that J's...
blow, slaughter, beheading.
J's are pronounced like Y's in Norse.
Hogspjot. Hogspjot.
Mm-hmm.
Atgeir is just a spear.
That's just the word for spear. Got it.
Was a type of bill or halberd from... Oh, it's a spear. So it's just a standard
They have
halberd.
multiple types of halberd.
Yeah.
Specific types of halberd. Obviously, the Viking knife.
The spear held great cultural significance to the Viking warrior as the primary weapon of Odin.
Mm-hmm.
And was the spear Gungnir, the spear of Odin. Yep, it just said that. Knife.
Knives are knives. So the Viking sax has a very specific
Yeah.
look to it. But mostly,
knife.
knives are knives.
Sword. Then there's freaking swords.
The Viking swords. The Ulfbert.
There it is.
That had...
They're spelled differently on the pages. This is spelled with a V and this is spelled with a U.
Well, it's hard to make something look like a U on metal, okay?
Most of the blades of oak shot type X number and distribution. And are likely to have crucible steel blades. There you go. Pig iron, iron, and sometimes steel. Along with sandglass, ashes, and other fluxes. So we know how to make crucible steel, just not the exact kind they used. Another example appears to have been made from highly quality... I can't pronounce that. Hypoeutectoid steel.
That sounds correct.
So it's mostly metallurgical, but it appears to be just because it's heat treated.
Possibly imported from Central Asia. That's a long way.
Yeah, that is
Well,
a long way.
since the Vikings were majorly trading peoples, that makes sense. But Central Asia, that's
It's
not.
a long way.
That's overland.
Yeah, like they were a seafaring people. Dane axe, 2 axes, Danish axe, Viking swords,
They do
axe,
have a general.
sling, round shields.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
had
The shield wall. This is the saddest shield wall after looking at all those Roman shield walls.
Yeah,
The world's saddest shield wall.
That is a well. Since they planned their attacks on mainly coastal villages,
Yeah, it worked pretty well.
it worked pretty
But
well.
it was just like, there's a third of you being covered. A third.
The main third,
And then
but
they
still a
did
third.
make the kite shields, which we can give them credit for that. But
You did make kite shields, and I am not upset at you
yeah,
for it.
the almond-shaped shield. I never thought of it as almond-shaped. Helmets. Yep.
They did not
had-
have horns.
They had very particular helmets that looked something like this, except less broken down and rusted.
Imagine that, but shiny.
Imagine this, but shiny and without this massive piece of metal missing off it. Lamaler. Oh, they made Lamaler mail.
I don't know what Lamar is.
Let's see. It's made up of small plates. See,
Oh,
like that.
it's plated.
Yeah. It's made up of small plates. I guess that makes sense, because they didn't have access to a lot of metal.
But doesn't plated... Well, I not a lot of large pieces, but plated does use more metal in general.
Well, yeah, but Lamaler couldn't be made of
Lamalar?
leather instead. I don't know how it's pronounced.
Lamalar.
But those can be leather or rawhide instead.
Mhm.
Or they could be iron or bronze or whatever. Usually not bronze. But the some runestones depict what appears to be armor, which is likely not chainmail. Most people think of the Vikings as these chainmail wearing, just like horned helmeted
Crazy
wearing
people.
crazies. But actually, they were really intelligent.
I mean, they made the Ulfbert.
Yeah, they made the wolf belt. Ugh.
So they had to be a little bit up there.
Like, they had technology that we still don't understand.
And also, one of the
Of their
reasons
crucible steel.
I think they're more intelligent is because they actually cared about hygiene.
Because
So they lived longer,
Because they lived back then.
and they,
Not now.
they cared about hygiene, and so they
Yeah.
lived longer and learned more.
Yeah.
You didn't die before you shared your
And then there
ideas.
was the Gokstad ship, which is the traditional Viking ship, which you can hang your shields on the side.
Mhm.
Which, yeah, everyone knows about those ships. Those are the classic Viking ships.
with the headpiece to signify warlike intent.
Yeah.
Hey, we're here to rob you.
The shield.
Okay.
This is not a shield wall.
It's
That's
a,
people holding their shields in
it's a
front of them,
sh-
standing
it's a-
next to each other.
it's a shield fence.
It's a shield fence. It's a picket fence. The Romans built like just massive concrete walls, and they built a picket fence.
This is our shield wall.
You see this? This is going to stop you from coming onto my land.
No, it's not. I'm sorry. Who would win? One of the most finely trained armies in all of history, or a season?
The shield picket fence.
A season. A new fighter appears.
Obviously, the shield picket fence.
The shield fence.
It's just a picket fence.
I'm surprised they didn't talk about the Vikings in that list we looked up.
Yeah, me too. Apparently, the Vikings didn't make anything first. Like, they made like really good swords and really good things, but that technology had already probably been invented, and they just made it better.
Should we start by talking about region or timeline? Or timeline by region?
That's too much work.
Region by timeline.
Ah, here's the Viking knife. This is how they think it looked. This is
An actual find.
an actual one.
That's a sax.
Because it's from so long ago.
Look at how long ago it's from. You can see how old it is.
Why is this guy wearing a Roman helmet and like a robe
Because he
and holding a spear? He's got like, it looks like he's trying to be Roman, but he is not actually wearing armor. He's wearing a robe.
Yeah. It doesn't look very Roman-like.
Yeah, it's just like, he's got the Roman helmet, he's got a circular shield, and a spear. I'm getting mixed messages here. Like, what are you trying to be?
He's a cobbled-together warrior. Here, take this.
Take this Roman helmet, this Viking shield, here's a spear from Mesopotamia.
Here's some random stuff we have. Equip yourself. Oh, no.
Sorry, we don't have any armor. You're just going to have to wear your robe.
Well, dang it.
We don't have boots either. Ooh, a customary start to a battle included throwing a spear right over the enemy to claim it for Odin.
You are for Odin. We will
pattern welded blades are common in spearheads. Ooh, Damascus steel.
Yeah.
I like Damascus steel. It's so pretty. Especially if it's made to be in this particular pattern, but even sometimes just the look of Damascus steel is just so pretty.
Just the folding.
I want like Damascus steel chef knives.
Well, as soon as I buy my stuff, I'll make you some.
That would be impressive. That'd be really impressive if you end up making Damascus steel.
It's not.
This section does not cite any sources. It's Wikipedia. What do you expect?
Bows and arrows, no sources cited. How many sources are there for bows and arrows?
According to custom, all Norsemen were required to own weapons, as well as permitted to carry them at all times.
Mm-hmm. There was a poem that said, "Never have your weapons war far from your side, because you never know when an enemy will strike." Not the. They never said the. They said an. They had many.
I think it's interesting. So I had Anduro with me at the Renaissance Fair, and I had just gotten a sheath for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting, because we went up to this one place that had just rings and stuff, and we were looking around for fun. And this guy was talking to me about how, I think it was the Danish or the Irish, that particular kind of sword, Anduro, is clearly a long sword, made to be two-handed, but wielded one-handed, because it was Elendil and apparently, that kind of sword meant you were trying to get a woman.
Interesting.
In that culture. I can't remember if it was Irish or Danish.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm pretty sure it would be probably Danish.
Probably Danish, because Irish aren't known to carry around large swords.
They're just big.
But the Danes, on the other hand...
They had swords.
They had to fight a lot, because they had a small kingdom.
Swords for days.
And people wanted their small kingdom, and then now they conquered Greenland, and now they have the biggest kingdom, but the most useless kingdom.
It's like even more trash Russia.
It's worse than Russia, yeah.
Here we're gonna take this land.
Here we're gonna look at Russia. We're going to condense it down into Siberia, and then you can have that. You can have Siberia.
That's what people were like. And hey, we're gonna take Siberia. Sure, nobody wants it.
You want Siberia? Sure, and you have fun freezing to death.
And now they just live there.
Yeah.
This is fine.
This is fine.
No shirt, just Siberia.
Hashtag no shirt, just Siberia.
Hashtag Danes, swords for days.
It's gonna take me so long to re-download Sid Meier's Civilization, especially while streaming.
Swords for days.
Yep, swords for days. Unlike this sword.
Is he wielding one of those?
Yes, because he's an Allomancer and can. This is a Kolos sword, which is basically a massive club.
That's not a sword, it's a club.
It's a club. It's a massive metal club.
Why do you have it?
See, this is a far more elegant weapon. Or even the obsidian head axes of the Inquisitors. However, the most elegant weapon of all is right here.
You are so cheesy. You're such a cheesy.
Or, this spear that looks way cooler than it actually was. It's just an obsidian-tipped spear. Streaming live. YouTube Tony. I like how this is still an Agrarian Skies stream.
It was Agrarian Skies. Now it's weapons.
We'll just pull out books and start talking about those. Gregor the Overlander. Freaking love that series. Have you ever read that series?
I don't read.
Our teacher read them to us in 4th grade, and each book is based on a prophecy. I like prophecies. You know I like prophecies.
Uh,
Probably too much to be healthy. In my D&D life.
okay, so Neanderthals. Let's talk about survival for a minute. We've talked about weapons. Survival. Old times. Very old times. We're put back in the old times.
Find a cave.
I don't know if I would rather have a cave or make something above ground, because I don't want my cave to get flooded.
The question is, do we still have our intelligence?
Us too.
Yeah.
In real life, we're sent back.
So
for
we
some
still have
reason.
our intelligence.
We're still us.
So what we could do is design something along the lines of a teepee. Which those actually worked quite well.
They're not too bad. Would we use, like, reeds and leaves for the outside, or would we go kill something first?
I'd say probably killing something. 'Cause
Okay, so
yeah.
before we get to the teepee,
we have to kill something.
we have to find shelter, natural shelter first,
And then we would make spears.
because everybody knows how to use
And just try to
spears.
find stone spearheads that we could use. Or break stones.
Just smash.
Just smash
This
them.
piece looks good.
This one looks good, then the rest are terrible. Goosh! 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 Goosh!
Until we actually learn.
Oh, look, there's one more!
Because neither of us are skilled enough to know how to flint knap.
Yeah, no.
Because that's a really finesse type
No.
deal.
Yeah,
we just
we'd be clueless.
sharp stone.
We're just looking for a sharp rock.
And then
Dang it!
how are we going to fasten it? Do either of us
Grasses.
how are there long and strong enough grasses?
We could weave grasses. I don't know. You never said where we were. We could weave grasses into sort of like stronger twine rope kind of a thing, and use that to secure the spearheads on.
Or we could throw rocks at a sheep and
Or we could throw rocks at a sheep.
then take its skin and just use all the wool it has, and then be like, okay, here's a string.
Throw rocks at a sheep. Die, sheep, die!
I was thinking more large stones over a
I
cliff.
know, but still.
Um,
You just like throwing pebbles at a sheep. Die, sheep, die!
But then we'd have to use the rest of the sheep, because that's food.
You're right, we would. And actually, we could probably do that. We know how to make fire.
hmm It would take a little bit of practice, because our hands aren't... I don't know if you'd be very good at that, because your hands are soft.
I've tried to that before. I do it for about an hour, and then I get so fed up with life that I let someone else make the fire. I can't go.
I prefer more of the rubbing method this way, like on a
Yeah.
large flat piece of rock with a hole here. Wood.
A large piece of rock.
Just a large soft piece of wood and a harder piece of wood.
Yeah.
I prefer that way, because this way, that hurts my hands.
Yeah,
It-
I probably wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I'd probably say, how should we start a fire? And you'd be like, oh, I do this. I'm like, okay, let's do that. I've never been good at starting fires without fire starters.
I'm
I'll,
okay at
I'll
it.
find the kindling, you make the coals.
I can do that. I'll do that.
You make the embers.
Yeah, one of the first things we need to find, though, is... First, we need to find drinkable water, which I know how to make. I know how to do that. I can do that.
Yeah,
I know how.
that's easy.
And
We could
then
even make a bowl out of wood.
we need to make a temporary shelter before we make our permanent shelter, because
Yep.
we need to sleep.
you
We're not going to
realize
do everything in one day.
TPs are a temporary shelter.
Mhm.
However, we would probably find like a small cave we could use or something. Or just like an overhang
Lean-to.
or something.
Just
Like,
lean-to out of
we
sticks.
could find an overhang, put sticks around it just to make a small like hut. With stone above us, sticks around.
First watch, second watch, no bears.
I don't have any
Please.
watches.
Dang it! We don't have those. That pun is irrelevant now. But what would be great is if we could find some more people.
Yeah. Unless they tried to kill us. But it's okay, we have our spears. Of sharpened stakes. Just kidding.
I think I would prefer to have a thicker
Actually, if we
spear.
did kill a sheep, we might be able to craft a bow. Just a rudimentary bow.
Mhm.
And then use that for hunting.
But first we have to kill the sheep.
But first we have to kill a sheep, so we need a spear.
And before we get a spear, we need to find a place to stay and things to drink.
Yeah.
So let's assume we find...
A week later.
A week later, we've gotten thinner, but... well, maybe not you. You probably stayed the same.
I'm already thin.
After both of us have had our mental breakdown, after having no...
What's going on?
After both of us had our mental breakdown, after having no pills for...
I don't have pills.
Oh, after I've had my mental breakdown and gotten over my... What's it called? That thing where you don't have an... It's the same thing that people who use drugs get after not having enough withdrawals.
Withdrawal.
After I've gotten over my withdrawal, I'll be able to help better. And after I've done that, or you can just keep me occupied, and then I will be fine. But after that, we have our shelter, we have water. Now, I don't know a lot about edible plants. I know a few edible plants, which we're going to need. But one of my safest options is I know all grasses are edible, and I know what defines...
All grasses are edible?
All grass. Every type of grass. But it has to actually be under the definition of grass. But I know how to define a grass.
Grass. Yeah.
But I know what is a grass and what is not a grass. So I can help us with that. And I know a few edible berries and stuff. So we will not be short on vegetables. And since we have that, we can subsist off of that until we see something we could throw stuff at. Quiet.
Thud, 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 thud.
Can you look up primitive shelters?
Someone throwing up in a toilet.
And see which would be the best for us to have.
Which ones we could easily make. 10 primitive shelters that could save your life.
Just go to
ideahacks.com.
Okay, so yeah, there's a channel that makes stuff like this. Go to Primitive Technologies on YouTube, and they don't talk in those videos, so we can just comment while watching them make stuff.
You can just do basic debris pile.
I mean, that works. I don't know if that
provided that there's a load of leaves and crap.
Provided we're in a forest.
We could just make like a basic lean-to.
That's what I have been saying.
Yeah, I know.
But you're like, let's talk about this. And I'm like, oh.
Branch A-frame, like, that's pretty easy to make as well. It's just
But do we have ferns, though?
Well, we don't necessarily need ferns. We could just use...
I don't want to get rained on.
Well, we can't use the leaves.
If we're sent back in time, we're going to have to learn the other people's language.
Oh, shoot! A wiki-up. That would take ages to build. No. These are supposed to be survival shelters that could save your life. There's no way you could build that in enough time to save your life. By that point, you'd be frozen.
In that picture.
In this picture, you'd be frozen. That is not... Oh, this. I was like, this is not a primitive shelter.
That's just wood. I mean, not wood.
What on
mud.
earth is this?
Those are mud blocks that are stuck on top of each other. Let dry. Next block. Next block.
Yeah, I guess. Wedge tarp.
We don't have a tarp.
We don't have a tarp. Snow mound. If it's in the middle of winter, sure.
What's great about those is it never gets
Or
below
snow tunnel.
32 degrees.
Yeah.
Imagine how much science will...
I thought this said Mad Hut.
Imagine how much science will bring back to those people. Yeah. That's the end goal.
This is your goal.
Anyway, go to Primitive Technology on YouTube. Primitive Technologies. That's... that one or the one below it, either one. This is where I learned most of my survival stuff, and is this the right one? Are these the right people?
Reusable charcoal mound.
This does not look like...
Grass hut.
The one I was thinking of had 2 people in it. Primitive survival is the... Sorry.
Doesn't even know the things he's subscribed to.
I'm not subscribed to them. Primitive survival tools. Does this have the 2 brothers in it?
There are 2 people in this picture.
Yep. They make many things.
So which of these could we actually feasibly do? Build stone Roman temple, but no. Build stone's roof of Roman temple.
Scroll all the way down to their very beginnings.
Updated underground house.
Simple beginnings.
Searching for groundwater. Make 100 mud brick. Build A-frame hut with grass and mud.
One sec. Yeah,
Is anyone even watching this anymore? I'd be surprised if...
Oh, it's called primitive technology. I'm so dumb. No, it's
Is
not.
there someone watching? Is anyone watching?
Primitive. Well.
While we wait for this video to load. Okay, there we go.
Survival skills! That's what it's called.
So this is the wrong one?
Let me find. No, these look like the 2 brothers I was thinking of.
He got a rock.
Yeah, he picked up a rock.
Fine. No HD quality.
Yeah, go to this one. This is how to make a well and well filtration. So go to Survival Skills Primitive, and this is the actual one, the one with the 2 brothers. And this has all sorts of stuff from the very beginning, like making the first shelter, all the way up to primitive glass melting and smelting of things.
Alright.
So if we go all the way down, there is stuff like making bowls, or where is one that
How to build a ladder. Weapon danger primitive. It's a spiky ball on a string. It's the predecessor to all flails.
So go up. I'm trying to find the one where they build their first house. Most likely will not be in Utah if we get transported back. So
We just
making
get
a
eaten by
well,
Utah raptors.
making a well will be
Is
easier.
it this one?
That's one of their first
This
brick
one?
houses. But if we scroll down, we will be able to.
This one?
It's just a normal mud hut.
Mudness. Mudnate in the countryside. What are we even doing? So first, find yourself a nice big lake. And or ocean. And get some big rocks. Put rocks on sand. And go get more rocks.
We need more rocks.
How long are we going to be gathering rocks for? They're still gathering rocks. Okay. I think I found the end of where they're gathering rocks. Just for the sake of this. Okay. Get a nice big pile of rocks, and then find some nearby bamboo. You're right. Oh. problem is I'm streaming and like doing everything else at once, so. Peter, not liking this. Let's turn down the quality. And cut down the bamboo with a primitive tool you have made for chopping. So we need bamboo.
I think these people live in Thailand. I'm not sure.
So you bring back your bamboo and put it next to your rocks. And you move your rocks.
And a spear isn't actually too hard to make with a stone. We don't even need to flint it. We can just scrape it against a harder stone until it gets sharp.
But yeah.
How terrible is it gonna be to learn the other people's language?
Horrific. I am so bad at learning languages.
I guess I'll have to be the translator then. I'm good at it.
I'll just sit there realizing that I've forgotten how to speak English, just staring at you helplessly.
Well, what's the situation we're in that I need to translate? Have we gotten captured? What's the problem?
We randomly wandered into a village.
Okay, well, first we have to establish friendly contact, which would probably have to be by offering something or, like, smiling.
Okay.
And not drawing any sort of weapons we've made.
Yeah, well, pulls out spear. Look at this! Here, do you want it? Here, take it.
And then after we've established friendly contact, we have to start out by saying stuff like picking up a stone, saying, "This is a stone. What is it to you?" They say their thing.
Well, they wouldn't understand us saying, "What is it to you?"
I know they wouldn't, but they would start to get it. We don't speak their language. We're making sounds they don't understand. I point to this, say stone, hand it to them. If they don't get it,
They take
I pick up another thing, say this is this.
Or just keep saying stone and handing it to them. Stone, stone.
And then, oh, well, I don't know if you'll be able to be a very good hunter considering.
Wait, I don't get my glasses? Yeah, I'm not gonna be a good hunter. You have glasses too, don't you?
Yeah, but I don't need them.
Yeah, fair point. I usually
only-
don't need them, but like I can see shapes, I just can't read from a distance. But knowing me, I'd probably be so jumpy that the things for hunting would scare me.
Yeah, I'd probably need to leave you home. Be like, okay, stay here.
I'll tend the fire.
I'm going to go kill
I'll
the
boil
thing.
some water in the wooden bowl we made, which is actually not too hard. If you just use a hot coal.
And
some
let's
wood.
assume... Okay, so we've found a village.
Yep.
We're assuming we found a village.
Yep.
And we can communicate rudimentarily, let's assume.
Okay.
Be like, okay, I need... Say the word for food. Or say the word for water. Say the word for shelter. Say the word for... Just basic words. Because we obviously have a lot more words now than they did back then.
Yeah. They didn't need as many things back then.
Yeah, no. So, we're pretty much set if we found another people, so we don't need to do anything else.
Yep.
Other than them teach us how to do the things they do.
Yeah.
So that was useless.
So we don't have to spend half an hour collecting rock and put it between a few twigs of bamboo.
Well, we have to survive to find the other people, so we're gonna have to do this.
But this is a permanent shelter. Like, this is not a temporary shelter in any sense of the word. This is permanent.
Yeah, it is permanent.
Like, sticks and leaves will make you a temporary shelter. But that's permanent.
Search for water.
Search
Oh,
for
this guy was the tribal stonemason. And he says they did not build the wall correctly.
Your wall is not. You did not build a wall well. You did.
What's the point of the rock walls if you leave an opening where rats, crabs, snakes, and roaches can enter? It's a fair point.
Oh yeah, this filtration machine device, this filtration well that they've made is fantastic, and this is one of the ways I know how to filtratify water.
So first things you need stone.
They didn't make that out of stone. They just sort of mixed gravel and clay and that sort of thing.
Well, yeah, but
and that's super primitive way of drawing a area to dig, but also super effective.
yeah.
And we could figure that out.
Well, yeah,
And primitive shovel, just stick.
yeah. They're gonna be doing this for a while, aren't they?
But what's great about this is they're going to use that dirt later.
How long is it going to take them to dig this hole? At this point in the video, they are still digging, but they have found water. This is also assuming you're in a place that you're close to the water table. Because if we tried to do this, it wouldn't work.
Not here it wouldn't. Definitely not here.
You have to be close to the water table.
So we'd have to find a place near a river, which shouldn't be too hard. Go downhill.
Or just use the water from the river.
We could do that.
Like, if you're doing all this work to find water and you're next to a river, you're doing something wrong. For sure, river water's not the cleanest. You can
But
filter
if we're going to
it.
build a
If
filtration
you're going to
device
build
anyway,
a filter, you might as well just use the river water.
But yeah, bowls aren't too hard to make, just clay. Which, if we're by a river, isn't going to be too hard.
Yeah.
But this is how to build a well after we've survived long enough that we're like, we don't want to have to walk all of the way to the river to get water.
The river's like 10 feet away.
The river is not 10 feet away. You can't even hear it in the video.
I know. Well, they don't have a river. That's why they're digging a well.
Just wait. They do have a river. I've seen this video
Oh,
before.
they have a river just right there. Well, that's
It's
their
a-
own fault.
It's a ways away.
I imagine if we had a river, it'd be like 10 feet away, 20 feet. Or maybe even like 100 feet away or 200
Yeah, I
feet.
don't want to be too close to the river because in case it rains a lot, I don't want to get flooded.
Yeah.
Let's not be too close to the river.
Now he's doing nothing.
He's watching it fill up, which is doing rather rapidly.
Yeah.
Quite rapidly. In Utah, if we dug down that far, we'd still be dry.
Yeah, we'd hit stone before we hit water.
I think we've made an error.
Though, actually, there's a problem with one of the pipes that lead to our house, so we have to dig a 10-foot hole in our front yard to replace it. That's going to be exciting.
Mm.
It only costs like a couple $1,000. Because it's an old house. So the pipe wasn't properly protected with the technology we now have. Now you have dirty water. And bricks. You're just stacking bricks. Or it actually looks fairly clean, at least at the beginning when they were taking it. Now it just looks like mud.
Oh yeah, I remember why they're draining it. They have to put the bricks in to make it look like a well.
So it has to look like a well, too.
Mm-hmm. That's that. But here's where it gets really interesting, and we get to see. That's just gravel, clay, and sand.
Yeah.
Oh, for a second I thought that was a horse's head.
No. It's a piece of wood.
But this is something really interesting I learned. This part, I was like, how do you hollow out a log? It doesn't make sense. How do you hollow it out without getting too close to the edge? But this showed me how.
Yeah. And then it goes...
Mm-hmm.
Because that's really flammable kindling. Or maybe it's not as flammable as it looks. No, it's wet. Still at least a little bit wet, you can tell because of the smoke. Smother the fire, yes. Smother it.
The way they built that fire pit, it has an underground tube to put air underneath the fire.
Yeah.
So it's better than anything we would have at the beginning.
Yeah. No, they have clay. Are they going to cover the entire log in clay?
Not the entire log, just a little bit.
Okay. This is a 48-minute video.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Now you take the coals with your stick deal and you put them in the middle
yeah, that's how you do it.
with the clay around the outside. And then you blow on it with your bamboo tube.
Assuming you have bamboo.
Or you could just grab some leaves and fan it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one way to make bowls as well.
They're not making a bowl.
You know.
They're making a bucket.
You gotta get all the charcoal off.
Yeah, don't blow in it. You don't want to poof that into your face.
Yep, definitely not.
Well, now I can't see. Good.
Then you put clay on the inside.
I feel like sometimes it's more effective not to talk in a learning video. It's just like, you can see everything.
Right. This is a 48-minute video, though, and we are streaming.
We don't have to watch all of it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty hungry, so
Yeah, me too.
we could drive to the Sweeto Burrito.
Okay. Well, I guess that means we're gonna end the stream. Maybe,
Bye!
Maybe Civilization will be downloaded by, like, tomorrow. And we'll see you all next time. Kalum Valar or walk with